So then, as you all start your long rest, anything anyone's doing. I mean, obviously, I'm figuring at this point, since I'm back in my regular senses, Jade's probably thinking, dragon treasure.
Yeah.
And as a friendly reminder, the strong blue light in this area, which I'm going to change to a pulsing effect so it actually shows up. Actually, hexadome. That sounds cool. Wow, that is really cool. This whole area with the hexadome effect represent areas of non-magic. I think one of you, I believe Flux was polymorphed, and Dean, you had Alec in one of his forms as well for your wild shape.
Yeah, I was a wolf, a big dire wolf boy.
The second you walk out of those areas, so long as you're still within the concentration of the spell, mind you, it could time out as well. The spell is suppressed, so the second you walk out, you will regain those forms. I actually googled that. It does suppress the wild shape for druids. That's harsh.
Yeah. Everything's harsh in hell.
Yep. Plus 18th level campaign, you're going to see me throw out the dick moves all the time because I have to, because when I do, you're like, okay, let me reach up my other sleeve, and it's like, damn it, I thought I had them.
Yep. I think we'd moved to some spot, I'm not sure where we decided, but we'd moved to somewhere. I guess John would remember. Dan, if you don't remember, I guess it's dealer's choice.
Where John is out this week, he was mentioning last week he'd be getting set up a tiny hut, like right away, to get everyone bunkered and calm. Now, this area does have a space. I have my mouse blocked. My bad. This area here does have a wide space near the mechanical monstrosity that you previously faced off against, which was thankfully stuck in a hole and had no mobility and seemed somewhat old and damaged. This whole area is not affected by the anti-magic, but this half of it over here is. Yeah. There was some talk about using that and bunkering down here for protection and blah blah blah. There's also the wide open area over in this direction. I'm gonna switch to my ruler. Be like the teacher pointing at the board. Right over here.
Yeah.
Pay attention, you lot. Because as you know, you still have to get up here to Disneyland.
Yeah. I'm not too bored where we do it, guys. Thematically, the bedrooms make sense, but a long rest in the bedroom. Maybe we could do the tiny hut on one of the beds. Someone would be comfortable, but you know, we probably don't want to be too close to an anti-magic field.
I'm just gonna do myself a favor here and clear out the chat log. Something I've learned, that's actually the #1 thing that'll lag your game out if you're pasting images and stuff into the chat log. Out of all the things, apparently it's Foundry's biggest bane, so.
See, first level spells can still be effective.
Killing Foundry.
Alright, okay, well, we definitely want away from this anti-magic field, and there's an unknown up here near the bedrooms. We think that's where we need to go. So how about we go to what's close? The kitchen. We really want to go to the room with all the bodies in it. We could set up there, unless anyone's got any ideas they're working on.
No, that sounds reasonable to me.
Okay, all the best parties end up in the kitchen.
Now, Dan, as kitchen party, love it. It took me, I can't believe I missed that. I grew up in Cape Breton. We're renowned for our kitchen parties. We love the liquor. I mean, we love sharing music with each other and playing a fiddle at your friend's place. And what am I kidding? We love the liquor.
Yep.
Dan, is Jade going to rest, or is he going to creep back to where you fought those dragons to search for treasure?
Oh, right, we didn't actually look at anything there because Lila got kidnapped immediately.
Yep.
We could all do that then rest up.
Well, there is a nice little spot we could bunker down in there if we wanted to, because the at the back of the stage there was the one entryway into that room. So if we did a tiny hut at that entryway, no one would be able to get in theoretically.
Yeah, that works. I assumed that Jade would already have had the treasure somehow, but
That's a fair assumption, I will admit.
yeah.
The bags she paws, they're sticky.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can. What does it look like when Jade feigns innocence? I mean, that must just be confusing at best. Yeah, sure. Let's go to the dragon. What would you call it? It's dragon. It's not a tomb, but it's not a room. It's a tomb room.
The theater.
Yeah.
To make life a little easier on the party, I grabbed a Lulu, and I'm just going to pop her up where the team was talking about, so you can see the area you're talking about here, rather than move all your tokens and minis and etc. If it was a fight and you were still fighting dragons, sure, feel free to move her around a bit if you want to see a little more of the area, but you pretty much got the main gist of it here. Now, I will say this area back here at first might have excited Bellamy. She might have been running forward to seeing musical instruments and all that, but they're mostly props, and fairly worn out by this time, frozen, solid, and stuck in place. Definitely an area back here that's mostly collapsed and filled in, at one point used by backstage hands and actors. You notice, however, this zone was interesting in that it was a completely circular stage all the way around, the remnants of which you can still see fading into the ice and snow. This would have been a grand 360 degrees theater with the ability to split the stage in 4 pieces. Now, when I say split the stage into 4 pieces, I don't mean like mechanical things would bring up and the stage separates out from each other and we pull some Voltron crap. No. I mean like a curtain would separate the stage into 4 pieces. I should clarify on that before I get anyone too excited on the Machina. There'd be like a curtain coming down here or some form of partitionary wall, and one across here as well, could be used to separate it out. Rather ingenious because you have so many different ways you can set a stage. 3/4 view is usually nice, so you have that last quarter in the back. But I'm getting into fun thematics here. Without too hard of looking around, I will say, Jade, or pretty much any of you, would notice where one of the dragons fell. The ghostly remains, having turned into little more than a goop of ectoplasm, is a small mechanical lockbox covered in runes and diagrams. And I'm sorry, Jillian, you were about to ask a question and I cut you right off.
It's okay. I was just gonna ask where this passage led to. Like, what do we see there? Does it just end or drop off? And I was gonna ask how high the ceilings were.
The ceilings barely make it 10 feet in this back area, having been concealed and fallen in place with the snow. That path in the back way, it looks nice. Doesn't really head off anywhere, though it does give you a place you can fall back to that you definitely wouldn't get jumped from behind at, unless something burrowed through the wall. And now I'm sounding like an evil DM, like I planned that while you rest. I did not. But it just looks
wouldn't
pretty.
be surprised, honestly.
Well, it is hell.
Exactly.
Every now and again I read the Avernus book and it pretty much says at the front, make sure your players are miserable. And I'm like, okay.
I do just want to say too, I'm not feeling 100% today. Like, I'm fine to play, but just if I'm a little bit more quiet than usual, that's why.
Oh, no worries at all. And I'm sure you probably know boss fight's around the corner at some point very soon, so you're going to be getting to do some swinging and get that rage out.
Yeah.
We're going to see that sword in action again, and the wizards are like cracking their knuckles just waiting because they're like, we get a long rest. That means all our spells come back. It's going to be bad. I know what I'm getting in for. So that's without searching. That's the obvious spoils of war. The ectoplasm itself, the remnants of the ghost dragons, I'll say before wizards get clever. Unless you had some way to preserve it perfectly with magic and a whole bunch of other crap. So if you had something more than just a glass jar, it will evaporate and fade away, as most ghost residue does.
don't even
Though-
know what it would be used for.
Yeah.
I will say, as Flux is chilling in that one corner, maybe leaning back against the wall for a sec, like, oh, it's relaxing here. I'm actually going to shift slightly how I had a part of it designed at this. You feel a slight poke in your back. At first you're thinking, oh, shite, what now? But it's something in the wall. There is, in fact, something in the back of that wall. I was going to put it in this room, but it actually works much better being there. So this is one of those moments where the DM's crossing out the note and rewriting it. Little fun goblin. Okay, got it. You know?
I'll tell Jade and step away.
So there is something against the back wall here, and
Guess
Alright, I'll go have a look.
dusting off the snow and taking a peek, without so much as having to roll perception or anything, you can see a general set of mechanical controls, most of which have been broken. However, those sticky tobacco paws come to realize that the couple of the arms could still be moved. Whether or not they'll have any function, well, curiosity killed the cat, right?
Multiple times.
Yep. Next time, Death got a game of Jenga set up for you. You see who has the most dexterous hands, and Jade afterward will be like, I can't believe you won.
It's like Dragon Ball's just like, it's the Dragon Ball approach to death, right?
Yep.
It's like, oh, he died. It's so sad. It's like, well, why do you care? He'll just come back in like 5 minutes.
The dragon shows up. What do you... Oh, shit. Did Krillin die again?
I am sorry, but Krillin is the most badass in that thing because the rest of them are all aliens and robots, and he's the only human trying to keep up.
Yep, and they
Strongest-
didn't have to Roshi him to get him stronger.
Strongest pure human being in the world. Has a beautiful wife, a daughter who loves him, and a steady job. Guy's doing great. He's doing better than most people in the real world are. I don't get making fun of Krillin. Guy's got it made. Like,
I always kind of wondered how his relationship with Android 18 was, but that one scene where she sees him flies off and she just says, he's so cool. The only time she ever gives him props, I was like, oh good, she actually does care for the little bald guy.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Made me so happy. I was like, yes, he wins. Krillin's definitely doing good, and then he becomes a police officer, and it's like, oh no man, he's gonna kill people. But we could go on and on that one for a bit.
Stop right there, villain. Destructo disc.
Oh god. They're getting away in a blimp. Krillin's like, I got this. So, Dan, you doing any search checks beyond that, or are you gonna play with the mechanisms on the wall, or what?
No, I'll point out the mechanisms because I'll leave that for someone smarter than me for once, and I will search.
I mean, I can take a look if
While Isaac's walking over to take a look, he's like, smarter? Well, I mean, I'm being polite. Meanwhile, Nimbar is chilling with Bellamy, and he's like, where did you say you got this hobbit leaf from? Oh, wow. And they're both passing back and forth Gandalf-style pipe, right? That way, you know the DM's not going to help you with those two players. It'll be up to the party to decide exactly what they do and how they roll.
Oh yeah.
Okie dokie. Let's open up them character sheets.
So, Kieran, by all means, if you want to give a check on that, there's any number of things you can roll for investigating this. Perception, investigation, I know for investigating it, that's pretty straightforward. Arcana, if you want to try to apply your scientific ways, well, wizardy ways, but they're like science.
Oh yeah. Well,
However you'd like to approach. As I sometimes remind players at this level of the game, there are drastic differences in certain DCs depending on how you decide to approach something.
But that being said, my Arcana is my strongest skill, so I'll try with that. I'll roll one.
Oof.
Oh.
With an
Oh
18,
my.
you are convinced these are mechanical controls that have something to do with the stage.
Yes, unfortunately, I can't get more than that. All right, that's fair. I did roll one.
I mean, it's pretty good for a one.
Yeah, like getting an 18 on a roll of a 1 is pretty good. Like, it's just unfortunately not good enough.
Yeah. Unlucky.
Sometimes I wish I could give out, like, let others use some of my class abilities. Like, hey, here, you can't roll below 10.
If there's one thing that Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 taught us, rogues are skill monkeys.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Wouldn't have it any other way.
I mean, Nimbar has Arcana as well with a boatload of rolls with that, if anybody wanted to roll for him. I mean, there's always Perception or Investigation if anybody wants to check it out.
I can roll for Nimbar.
Okay, he rolls at advantage for Arcana.
Yes. Due to his one of his scribe features, I think.
That will
I forget what it is.
Yeah.
explain the big A there. I was going to ask because sometimes there's caveats with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he passes his Gandalf over to Bellamy, rubs his chin. Works with the mechanics of the room, you say? Walks right over, bops right into the side of Isaac's leg because he slips on a bit of ice, shakes his head, gives a wave like, oh, sorry. Whew, mountain's a little off. Let me take a look. Oh, yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah, look, yeah. He confirms. They do have something to do with this. Specifically, they control mechanics that directly interact with the stage somehow. What he does confirm, however, is he can see that the gears are still pliable, pieces still move. You could engage them for whatever effect that they would cause. Though, with the amount of snow and ice in the area, and the fact that he still isn't 100% on what else it'll do.
Can Alec look around? He'll look for, like, I don't know. Is there, like, rigging above the stage where, like, curtains would lower and drop? Or is it like
Most of the ceiling work has been destroyed or replaced by snow in the area you're at. There were some riggings, but mostly at the edge of the stage now. The original curtains to drop down to block the stage off, those pieces might be pliable, but the second you come in 5-10 feet, it starts to cone inwards to this buried path in the back.
I guess Alec will have a look around for like trapdoors or something that maybe these levers open, or sections of the stage that lower, or something like that. He just has a vision of someone testing one of the levers and going, "What's this do? What?"
Wrong lever, Crunk.
This is where my brain went to, actually.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking. So, go ahead then, if you'd like to just give a general perception check on that one.
Sure thing. Is that,
25 on your perception check as you're checking around. Bellamy looks up, blinks a few times, and she's like, "Oh, you're looking for the trapdoors on the stage." Well, there's one there, as your character paps with one foot. And you're like, "Yes, I saw it," and you look over, you see another one. She goes, "There's one right there," and you're like, "You could have pointed these things out," and Bellamy nods. "I have training. I know all about stage work." There's definitely, they'd have 4 of them equidistant in these areas, which means the other ones are covered by snow. Alec giving a nod of his head, confirming there are in fact 5 doors, not 4 in the floor. 3 of them in this front area, 2 between the statues here. Oh, my clicker isn't, there it is. 2 between the statues here and here. 1 more over here, and the other ones are actually in the back area, which you were able to find through connections on the floor. Similar. Bellamy only saw these 2 here and the ones in the back, not knowing there's a one off to the side.
Okay. I'll make sure no one's standing on them, and then I'll try one of the levers.
There are 3 levers that you are able to see sticking out.
I don't know, the leftmost one, the one closest to this side. I don't know what directions we're facing, and stage right and stage left. The one closest to that side.
As you grab the lever and pull down, it doesn't move beneath your hand. This one quite firmly stuck. Do you try another lever, or do you force this one with strength?
I'll try another one.
Alright, which one?
The one next to it. Let's
The
just
middle lever.
work from that side along the middle one.
As you grab the middle lever and pull, it easily gives, and you can hear gears twisting and spinning and clicking, grinding, shaking, and rumbling. The very ground beneath your feet seems to shake somewhat as the ceiling starts to tremble, snow clopping and cropping and falling. You hear pieces of machinery breaking under strain before, finally, one statue here in the front slips and falls underneath into the abyss below the stage, a good 15 feet drop.
Oh.
You can see a couple of the other statues leaning and twisting and turning somewhat.
Okay, so
It would appear the control would have originally lowered them into the floor, but where the mechanics below were so badly damaged,
yep.
this was all that happened.
Well, it's still good to know we've found a 15-foot drop beneath us. I will try the rightmost lever, and then I'll go and peek down the hole that appeared where the statue was. Or maybe I should do that first. No, I'll stick with it. I keep forgetting I've got a character trait that says I fiddle.
Opening the rightmost area, you see the three panels on the front area here opening up and falling open, and another in this back room you can hear falling through.
Oh.
As you glance towards that back room, however, your vision might be caught by Lulu. Seated, healing on the floor, you notice she's no longer incorporeal. Her entire physical form completely restored. Though still injured and healing. But you're sure half an hour ago she was ghostly.
Is she still unconscious?
Oh yeah, she'll regain her health at the end of the long rest, right?
Right.
And she'll be fine.
Okay. Yep. I was just she's the only celestial here, so she's the only one who might have any idea what happened to her. But I'll make sure she's okay. And then I'll peek down the trap door. I guess this one because it's closest.
Giving Lulu a once-over. She's certainly healing, and she's certainly snoring. You've never seen something like that small that can sleep so hard. She's out. Looking down the trap door, you see below is a very small area you'd have to mostly crawl through. You'd pity poor Flux if she went down there with her incredible height. Her armor would be scraping, no matter what angle she moved at. A very small crawl space connecting these areas, and the machinery down below that you can see for rising and lowering, though nothing beyond that. The crawl space would be for the actors to get back to backstage after falling through the floor. Though it's a 15-foot at the end, it rises up to where you are to make that small crawl of only 5 feet, so you can quickly get up the back of the stage without assistance. Interestingly, however, as you look down, you do see a skeleton on the ground below.
Hello, friend. I'll drop down and look at this skeleton.
It appears to be carrying the clothing of some of the educators from this zone. Clutching in its hands, you can see the remnants of some scrolls, though mostly worn and destroyed by age. They're pieces of the play that you've seen performed.
I'll gather what I can and pass it up to one of the party members above. I imagine it probably just crumbles though with age.
For the majority of it, yeah. But as mentioned, it's pages out of the play you would have just seen.
Yeah. And I guess in this, does it look like the skeleton suffered a violent death, or I get the maybe the impression that they were trying to hide from whatever was happening out there?
You have no idea what would have happened at a glance. You don't see any signs of injury, just them laying there and an empty sack at their hip.
empty sack. So the sack is still intact?
Well, as much as it can be.
I guess I'll poke it with my staff, see if it remains. And then, yeah, I guess if nothing pops. None of us have speak with dead, I don't think.
No. Pretty sure that's not in my
So
repertoire.
let me check. No, it sounded like a Bellamy spell. It's not a Bellamy spell.
It would be a Bellamy spell because I believe that is cleric.
Yep. I don't think she has it prepared though. So, I guess yeah. After I've done looking over the skeleton, Alec would have a look down one of the tunnels, or see. You said they connect to the front of the stage.
Yeah,
Like
the area
here?
underneath would be mostly hollow, and it goes from 5 foot where you're at here down to about 15 foot here for the drop. Mostly for the mechanics. The areas actors would come down on would still only be about a 6 foot drop to a standard step. And then there's areas to get down from there, but a lot of it is worn out. It's the underbelly for the stage, so the people can sneak around to get back to the area you're at.
Okay. Yes. Sorry?
I said amateurs. They have to use the stage to sneak around.
I guess Alec would go this way and he'd have a look at that statue that fell and what's over that way.
Made a good bit of destruction in the base as you look below, cracking the snow and ice beneath the stage. Many of the gears snapping and breaking since they were unable to move the statues from their frozen positions.
I guess there's nothing interesting about the statue. It's not going to be like I doubt it's like Resident Evil where you push a statue off the balcony and then there's a big gem or a medallion that's used as a key later.
DM making furious notes. Maybe.
Was it Resident Evil 1? The statues all had like the wind crest, the north wind crest, the east wind crest.
Oh,
and
man.
you used them to unlock the passageway to the
Oh god, it's been a while.
the garden house. Yeah,
Imagine a D&D campaign that like functioned on like crazy adventure game logic. That like just like you had to like knock over the statue so its eye fell out, so then you could then take that and give it to a squirrel so that the squirrel would then drop what it was holding to, you know what I mean? Like that was the correct solution that I had in mind for you, the players.
I'm pretty sure Jillian would stab me. And I mean, you'd all be right behind her, passing her the sword. Like, here, do it. Oh my.
Yeah. So I guess I'll make sure this area's clear of threats. See if I don't really think it's all like mechanical gears and stuff. It's not really Alec's wheelhouse. So yeah, I'll just check everything's okay and then go back up and tell everyone what he saw. And get ready to have a nap.
A well-earned rest.
Just need to check something. Regenerate. How long does that last?
Anyone else doing anything while you're chilling here?
I did. I was going to look around before he started interacting with everything.
Yeah, Dean mentioned that there were some gears somewhere.
Oh, all under the stage. He was peeking around and saw that they were controlling the statues to go up and down, and he broke them.
Okay, right.
Then, for Jade,
Oh.
if you wanted to do the above ground search, that was still a thing as well. I'm sorry, Julian. Were you about to say something there?
No, it's okay.
Sorry. A little bit of lag today, it seems.
So just a perception roll.
Yeah, if you're checking out the room you're presently standing in to peek around. With a 25 on perception, as you glance around, you notice one of the bookshelves appears to have a fake back.
Okay, I'm going to check that out.
You can knock it free by hand.
Yep.
Knocking it free, you see it conceals a safe in the wall. Thankfully, the ice hadn't gotten to this part. And yes, it's locked.
Well, we'll see.
Fuck. Now. I think I need to refresh battery.
Yeah, no, I just had to double check. Uh, 33 to unlock it?
No problem. It clicks, it shifts, and it unlocks underneath your hands.
Okay, I open it.
As you open this area up, the small wall safe, you feel a soft brush of warm air escape and a hissing sound for a second as you pull that latch open. Opening it up reveals a rather well-kept, incredibly beautifully kept inside of a safe. And inside there as well, you see a rather interesting looking instrument. I am seriously just waiting for the image to copy because I right-clicked copy and then my monitor blinked.
There we go.
A beautiful looking instrument, strings coming from top to bottom on it, and the sight of two faces facing forward on the inside. Beautiful and immaculate in its design. As the warm air rushes out for a brief second from this sealed area, you can even smell the wood, still so fresh in its construction.
I imagine
very gently pick this up and take it to Bellamy to find out what it is.
It's just about to say, I bet Bellamy's nostrils are twitching.
Bellamy, as you come over with it, lifts up her hobbit pipe, takes a really long draw, lets it out, and as you hold it over, so what is this? She gives a nod and says, "It's a lyre," and picks it up, obviously. Bring, 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 bring. And then she just slips.
Hey, I think Jade's being pretty honest in this instance. That's a bit uncalled for.
Oh, I know. In all truth, it is an incredible piece of machinery. Bellamy would be quite happy to see Jade bringing it over. It'd probably bring a smile on her face. Let me put it like this, Dan. You'll get this reference. You just walked over and set an old school Stratocaster in their lap and said, "Hey, what's this?"
Oh God.
Or maybe a 1960s Martin acoustic, or a Gibson from similar era. You just walked over and set that in her lap. She just pauses and she goes, "I ain't never seen a musical instrument this beautiful in a very long time." And it does make wonderful sound as she immediately starts playing. It still stays in tune, in fact, and is in incredibly immaculate condition.
Well then. Curiosity will kill the cat. Ritual cast identify.
All right. So, 15 minutes later, Jade looks a little frumpy. I'm just going to skip the time 15 minutes. Because it's just a regular lyre. An incredible piece of masterwork machinery. You'll never hear one as beautiful as this again. And Bellamy is already, putting it away carefully once she's done with it, The sort of thing, it's like, she's pointing at people, "Don't you dare bump this. You get a scratch on this. We're going to fix it right away with mending. We're not messing around." I will say, for Jade's sake, however, after doing the identify and all that, you can see the brief traces of magic left over on this lyre. And you get the impression that the safe that you had it in was perfectly hermetically sealed to protect it. Or at the very least was sealed in time so that it was suspended, so that this thing would never age, never change, stay perfect forever. Would make sense for something this heavily valued. As valuable as much of the treasure you've already received is, Bellamy would mutter something along the lines of 25 million, looking at it.
It's a spicy meatball right there.
Performance checks made with this device are automatically made with advantage and a plus 15 to your dice roll. That's it. And that's just because the DM says it's awesome. But now, while using this, you would have advantage on performance checks, to be serious. Or anybody would have an advantage on a performance check if you train with musical instruments and can play them. You know the details I'm getting at here. Don't mind me. This isn't Bard only, but...
And I'll point it out, John pointed out there's a cleric spell that when cast for the next hour, you gain proficiency in its skill.
Oh, hey, nice. We call it the Led Zeppelin.
What spell is that? Is it new?
Yeah, it's part of one of the new books.
Oh, okay.
You jump good. Oh, yay. I got athletics now. Oh, my. You get that one player who can't do deception checks. They're like, "I'm going to teach you how to lie for 1 hour." Oh, so... Any other small excursions as you all relax on your long rest?
None for me, thanks. I've successfully broken something mechanical.
Yeah. Doing the druidly duty of...
What's this, metal? Oh, it's broken now. Oh no. Oh well.
Alright, and give Lulu back her full health. Well, with the tiny hut up and the party relaxing, morning would roll around, Lulu's wounds having healed themselves over time with the power of the long rest, which makes little sense to the DM, because she was on death's door a minute ago, but now she wakes up yawning and fine and hating mornings. As morning rolls around, and Bellamy's probably been plucking at that strings between her moments, let's be honest, it would have been a fun thing for her to have with, but she's out. Hopefully she'll show up in a little bit and might see that and be like, "Yes!" Until then, Lulu's going to yawn, stretch her legs out and shake her head, be like, "Oh, I was having this horrible dream. There were these two dragons there, and someone did stab me in the back." And she looks around, looks forward. "Oh, never mind, it actually happened. Shit."
Yep, it wasn't a dream. You were invisible, then partially invisible, and now visible. You got any idea, Lulu?
Lulu, who's presently leaning back, nibbling at her backside where she was stabbed, looks forward and gives her head a shake. What? What you mean I was invisible? Did I learn a new skill? She starts hopping from foot to foot.
I mean, I hope that's what happened. But you know how like the is it Planetar?
Yep.
It's Planetar. That's been going after us. Well, that's what grabbed you, and you were like invisible, like him. Whatever that is.
Lulu gives a nod. Oh, well, that explains why he stabbed me. I'm gonna have to give. Well, I won't be able to, but I would have wanted to give him 1-4. I swear. If I saw him straight on, I would have headbutt him, and he'd regret it. I remember now. He did grab me, and then he stabbed me. That's not very nice. But no, well, it's She pauses as she looks up towards you, tilts her head a bit to the side. I don't know if you have the constitution for me to tell you what he did. But I mean, essentially, it involves bloodletting and drinking it of a celestial being in order to pass your curse from yourself to them. So yeah, you use your own imagination for that one, buddy. It's not very nice. But
He drank your blood?
yeah, yeah, it's not very nice. He gave me a good stab, brought me close to the edge of death. And while he was there, he made a trade, and boom, he's visible and I'm invisible. But I mean, she looks herself over again. If I'm visible, then though that means you guys undid the curse, so you kill him, right? Yeah.
No. What we would have
No.
if we'd found him.
What do you mean no? If I'm visible, he's dead.
Well, Bellamy cast a greater restoration on you that seemed to make it kind of go away, but it seemed to fade. You seemed to come back like half an hour later.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, if you use like any of those powerful spells, even with a wish, it's against the natural order of things. You only get like a day, and then poof, your form's gone again. Very nasty stuff. But yeah, no. If I'm visible, he's dead. So let's scratch that problem off. Woohoo!
But what killed him?
Lulu just holds one foot up towards Isaac and shakes her head. Look, I just knocked on death's door. I'm looking on the bright side. But that is a good question, Kieran. But you know how Lulu is.
Yeah, oh yeah.
My guess? Whatever was controlling the armor?
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm fairly sure that we could have killed the Planetar if he wasn't constantly running away. So, there's a small, optimistic part of me that says maybe that's not as big a deal as you think it is. But that part also looks like a creature called Gollum. So, it's probably really, really bad.
Lulu, at this point, is taking a minute to pour the last of her tea out into a couple cups as she sits down on her rump and enjoys herself a little sip. Oh, I got a blue jay on the balcony.
I was gonna ask, someone here as a Disney princess.
It has quite the pipes on it.
That's your DM. I am a Disney princess. Blue jays
So you're
come to me.
getting cleaner.
What?
Disney bought Fox, so that makes MASH part of Disney. So Klinger is a Disney princess.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool. I mean, you're throwing out a reference there. I don't know how many people here watch MASH, but that was a good one back in the day.
I
haven't seen that.
know of MASH. I've never seen it.
It's good TV, if you like that sort of TV. They did a really good job making it. There's a lot of scenes that really make you lean back and say, I was hoping for comedy, not to have my heart broken. But you did a good job, assholes. That's the thing, like...
Plus
Oh.
a lot of comedy.
Oh, a lot of comedy. That guy is a genius for the way he ran his character. Oh,
Hawkeye? Is that the name of the guy? One of the characters in it?
Yeah.
Right.
so then, as you're chilling, there was one other thing that had been discovered. But I didn't hear anyone do anything with it, so I don't know what's happened with it. Maybe it's still sitting there covered in ectoplasm.
Oh, the mechanical lockbox. Yes, you're right. I guess.
You're all looking around. Jade's just looking like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Probably. Maybe we need to go and chisel it out of some ectoplasm now.
Hey, good luck
Yeah.
with that. I'll be over here unlocking it.
We don't need to worry about these kind of things, because later Jade will pull it out of her pocket and be like, "Look, I found it." Like, we know. What does it do?
It's a mimic. Roll for initiative.
Jade can handle that. We found a music box previously.
Yep.
We found one. No, it wasn't here. Was it here, or was it in the gardens?
The garden.
The gardens.
And it
what
was
did
damaged. Jade hasn't taken the time to cast mending on it yet. Although
Well,
it did still play music, and we have seen the box with the guy writing into the book.
right, yeah.
A trinket that once belonged to the God Slayer. Dun dun dun.
Alright, cool. Yeah, when you first said that, I was like, we found one of them before, and turns out I was not mental. Well, in that regard. Cool. We'll just wait to hear the tinkling of little chimes, or however it works.
Now this one's a genuine lockbox, mind you. It's closed and sealed up. Not a music box.
Alright, yep. I heard box and ran with it.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
So in other words, I need to roll to unlock.
Yep.
Do you want guidance? You can have guidance if you want. I don't think you need guidance, but just in case, this is a 40 DC.
Yeah, it's a 40 DC. You failed.
I have guidance. Let me roll that.
I'm kidding. That was just too easy though for that situation. You know what I mean? Like 38 with guidance, you got a 50-50.
Oh, it still fail.
Oh wow. No. Pardon me. As Jade starts to tinker with the box, he starts moving pieces and gears around, and admittedly, it's an incredibly difficult lock. To the point that it is just like the similar style and make and weave that held that armor in place. 3-tiered. You need 3 successes in a row to unlock it, as you're now holding the first lock open and working on the second. So you give me another check on your sleight of hand. Yeah, alright, give me a third check. Jade's just sitting there with a tongue out going like, I roll a friggin' 2 and a 1 and it still unlocks. Look at that. Actually, you only get a 33 on that?
Yep.
Oh, you gotta start over. The last lock shifts out of your hand at the last second. Your key pops up into the air and it resets. You need to get 3 successes again.
I can't. I have woe. After the long rest, I don't have wheel, so I can't boost anything. I could make it worse.
Oh wait, do you have guidance as a druid?
Yeah, I gave him guidance the first time around, but you can only apply it for one go.
I will say, as this is happening, you do see Lulu gives a pat on Jade's shoulder. I don't think I've ever seen you slip on a lock before. I suppose even a mountain goat can slip, my friend. Jade, meanwhile, is already back at it like somebody trying to do pull-up challenges from Final Fantasy VII.
39, 42, 42.
And aces it. With a few clicks, shifts, and twists, you hear a popping sound as the lid opens up. Legend of Zelda theme song playing. You get a rock.
Nice.
A big, oblong-shaped rock is inside the box.
Is it smooth?
It's laying flat, face down.
It's a nice rock.
Does Jade inspect the rock?
Yes.
You don't know what the rock is cooking. As you pick this one up and flip it over casually in your hand, you see it's no ordinary stone. It's a rune stone, similar to this one that I've popped up. Though that's a Dwarven runestone reading. This place is Durham's Bridge. Here are 42 of the best warriors of House of Hirbung fell. To keep orcs from the halls, we slew 608. Yeah, it keeps going. Then it says the date and stuff. But I mean, that's an example picture. Jade,
Right.
with your arcanic knowledge, and anybody with any degree of spellcasting reading this one over can tell that this is a keystone, one half of a set that would be used to engage a teleportation magic. Any group in an area, when this thing is activated, will be teleported to another predetermined location automatically. Notice what I did there?
Yep.
Lulu just
I'll
looks
be right
up.
back, guys.
Oh, sure thing. Lulu looks up. That's a nice rock. I like that rock.
Yeah, but it's only half of it.
Lulu shrugs. It's still a nice half.
And we know there's a teleportation circle somewhere. Oh. Fergus is just showing me his treat for the day.
Good puppy.
Oh. it's a billy stick, but it was 30 inches, so it wouldn't fit in any of our cupboards except for the one under the stairs.
Oh my god. He must be happy.
He's got about 10 off it, but yeah, he's super happy.
Oh my
But
god.
all good things must come to an end.
It'll last him a couple more days. Maybe a week or two.
Yeah, so we'll get Tuesday's game out of it at least.
Oh yeah.
Probably next week's.
Poor John. He'd be so happy to hear that if he was here.
I'm sure I'll catch up on the YouTubes.
Like, if I had artistic capacity, I would just draw a picture of John, super big, wide-eyed, going, puppy. And I'd be like, there. And John would probably love it, because he loves,
Yeah.
well, he loves kitties and puppies, don't get me wrong. We all do. But it's just, yeah. It'd be fun. But I can't draw. Not no more.
Same.
Oh, so I've gone on a bit of a tangent there. So, Jade has a rock. And Lulu's healed. The team has received a long rest. Feel free to re-prep on any of your spells. Oh geez, now I got a bunch of black-capped chickadees flying in.
And to answer your question, Dean, the spell is called Borrowed Knowledge. For 1 hour, you draw on the knowledge of the spirit's past. Choose one skill which you lack proficiency. For the spell's duration, you have proficiency with the chosen skill.
Right.
It's
I gotta look that
self-only.
one up.
It's second level cleric divination.
Oh, it's cleric. That's why. They're like,
Okay.
oh, you don't want to just be the healing tank anymore, eh? Well, here's a good
Oh.
power up for the cleric.
Oh, hang on. No, it's also wizard, warlock, cleric, bard.
What does the bard need that for? They already do. Okay, it makes sense.
Regaining staff charges, by the way.
Yep. That daily morning switchover. It's now 8:15 in the morning of the 28th of Oktar.
Cool. So it's kind of like the Arcana cleric skill, but everyone gets it now. No, not Arcana, knowledge.
It takes a spell slot though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It has resource competition essentially as its,
Unless you're 18th level wizard and have that signature spell thing, you can just say, I'm just proficient in everything now. Second level.
Oh,
Second
Jesus,
level.
that's a bit of a. But then you can't teleport everywhere.
I mean, there needs to be some downside.
Misty step.
Yeah. Cool. Right. So, what are the chances that there's already one of the keystones in the circle? Because I'm sure we know this. Yeah, because we saw a vision of the god killer walked up to the two guards, and I think it was like up here where the statue was.
Up in
It
Disneyland.
came from.
I loved that. Like, this is how the map presently looks, Disneyland. It's gonna be a fun time, yeah.
A magical treat for all the family.
And just to make things easier, I'm gonna pop second Lulu here, so just where we're all back on this part of the map together.
Yeah.
Though that's maybe not where your minis are at the moment, but you do have a bit of a casual time here.
Yeah. So, like, the vision. We saw a vision of the guy going to or from the teleportation circle, and that was up here somewhere. So that must be
Specifically
maybe
right
in the.
in this area, but the wall was blocked off by a sheet of snow.
Yeah. So going
And I
to.
believe it was he was going to it.
Yeah. So we're going to do some digging. I think because there was something about unstable magic or something up there. We weren't sure if we should use spells or something. Something like that. We walked away for a reason.
Yeah, there was some sort of negative effect or wild magic effect for us to use magic spells.
That was it.
I will say, as you make your way through this area, you will notice the anti-magic field is now gone. Dissipated, it seems, without the presence of the armor. Oh, pardon me.
So, but the armor was gone when we were there the last time, so it creates like a lingering field that goes away.
The tube itself was what caused the anti-magic field. And
Right.
since the tube was broken, the anti-magic field has leaked out. But since all the magic has leaked out, the anti-magic field is gone.
Right. Okay.
Jade feels a firm pat on his back, slightly lower than he might be expecting, but I mean, that's quite impressive because Nimbar is quite short, and he's giving Jade a pat on the back. Indubitably, my friend, that is actually a good way to look at that. I think you're onto something. And he takes another puff on his pipe.
I have my moments.
John likes to run his character as the older wise man who's seen a few things, so I'd have him that moment being, oh, that's a smart one by Jade. I tap him on the back, that's good. So, you know, trying to lean into that a little.
Works for me as an explanation. I will say I won't question it.
It's the most logical explanation I can come up with because when I opened the case before, the anti-magic field ended, so it was linked to the tube that the armor was in, not the armor itself. At least that's a conclusion I will come up with for Jade.
I like to think it's kind of like a Spock moment. Jade is he's came up with an explanation, and everyone's just he wants to talk about it, but everyone's just like, okay, now we believe you. We,
That's
we're not
spot on, man.
questioning you.
100%. What?
Anyways, moving on.
I just popped up a picture of the dungeon map without the Disney, but with the dark out areas for what you'd probably be seeing for your minis.
Yep. Okay.
Clearly, there was a long tunnel to get up there, with the solid ice at the end, I'll remind, and then another tunnel where you were at originally with, as well, solid ice originally. I'm presently assuming the party has not traversed past this line that I'm randomly throwing across the map. You know what I mean?
Not yet.
The way you've been resting and chilling, so.
Yeah. What tunnel do you think we should go up? I don't think there's much of a difference, except one's a little bit bigger.
I will say Flux probably has a Lulu flopped on her shoulder. She doesn't seem to mind which direction they're going. But thus far, Jillian has been carrying around Lulu on Flux, so.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't see any need to go the long way. So we could. I would vote just to go up this tunnel here.
Alrighty. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move everyone's minis to save some time in a straight cluster here. Copy and paste. Oops. There we go. So, as you make your way up this tunnel, examining the area in front of you, you might come to notice the tunnel having widened somewhat. Stretched out and twisted and torn by what you could only assume to be raw fire, giving how it looks almost melted and refrozen. You no longer find, however, that your pathway forward in this zone is blocked, having been completely and utterly burned away by someone or something. Now you can clearly see the area ahead, but this isn't quite where the players get to come up. You all would pop up. Now I'm just moving some minis. Near the end of this area where your tunnel comes up. Oh, it's killing me to move all these at once. There we go. As you make your way up and through to the next spot, ground gives way and snow beneath your feet, while a number of parchments, books, papers scorched and destroyed before you find yourselves popping out the side of a tunnel in a wide, flat, open area. Before you, you can see remnants of fine vestments and what also appears to be a piece of a tower across the ground itself, some rubble below where it was. Glancing around the corner as well, you can see the statue of a man dressed in robes, looking up towards the sky with a smile on his face. Similar statues in other areas, somewhat destroyed and damaged.
Well, doesn't this look like a mess? Okay. I gotta ask, what in Melora's name is that?
Interesting thing that you see as you walk by. Two immaculate dolls sitting on a bookshelf, itself seemingly untouched as well, though The front of it closed and locked behind glass. You can see on this bookshelf with a glance numerous crystal baubles of various sizes and colors, though those two dolls stare at you creepily.
Guys, we absolutely do not touch the dolls unless we are raining down fire upon them. Absolutely not. Okay? I know. Hard no on that.
Lulu adjusts the rubber ducky on her head and nods. Oh, it's all good. I got myself one right here.
Nothing good comes from little dolls that look like little girls. Nothing. Okay? Nothing.
The majority of things in this area actually appear quite immaculate despite the thrown snow and etc. that you find.
What is it, my brain instantly goes to...
What's up, Kieran?
Oh, I just posted a thing off topic, so my brain instantly goes to this when you're talking about the dolls. Anybody's played their Final Fantasy 4. Yeah.
Old school music.
Yep. They're going to be cursed or alive or something.
Or alive and cursed.
Yeah. So let's just... The armor was...
Check and see if it has magic in it.
You popping that one off, Dan, or do you want someone else to check for the magic?
I say pop a magic stick, so get Isaac to tap his stick.
Ah, I get you. I heard
sorry,
pop a
I
magic
missed that.
detect.
I'll use detect magic from my staff.
This area is blinding. All the pieces of everything in here have shards of magic within them. Various forms, various pieces. The lion skin rug that sits on the snow radiates magic. Both of the dolls radiate magic. That entire shelf of baubles, some of them radiate a lot of magical prowess. Nothing specific for most of it, though, glancing around. But this whole area reeks of magic.
Yeah. So almost everything is magic.
What catches your eye for a brief second, though, is the mirror in the corner of the room. Why it catches your eye is because you don't see your reflection at a glance from here. You're at an angle that you should, but it just seems to be pitch black, weaving. Hard to see.
Is it just Isaac's statue, or is it... No, not Isaac's statue. Come on, Dean.
And if I'm correct, it's 30 feet with your detect magic, right? I might be wrong on that. I'm going off memory.
I think it's 30 feet. Sounds right.
So you're only seeing magic stuff out to this glance. Just because I don't move your minis at these points. But you do have freedom of movement in this area. Alec walking around inspecting the cow skin rug like, wow, this actually almost looks comfy if I wasn't a druid. Actually, I think druids would be okay with that.
You gotta dress in something, man. Like,
oh, yeah.
It's just... I just got an idea of a nudist colony of druids. They don't believe in, like,
Do not
leather
hurt
or...
any animals, they're just wearing tree bark.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
The worst part is this when it comes to the underwear. It's really rough.
Oh.
the grass underwear, you know, it's softer, but you increase your chance of, like, you know, a grass cut or something like that, and it's really, you gotta weigh your options here. That's
This explains why the Olympics were done nude. Oh god. Oh. Called the loose leaf method, but
Nice.
So
Is it just Isaac's reflection that doesn't appear in the mirror, or is it everyone's?
Moving as you do, you don't see any reflection in that mirror. And standing this far away from it, you're not sure if it's magical. I mean, you're thinking it's probably magical. Come on. But you don't know from way back here, for Isaac's sake. All you see is the black rippling over it, like a curtain.
Oh. Is it reminiscent at all of like the black smoky stuff we've seen?
Nope,
Or
this, honest to God, looks like a curtain.
a curtain. Okay. Can I see this book from where I am? I wanna head there because there might be something useful written down.
Heading over towards the tome that's there. Anyone else checking out anything else while you're doing that? We'll queue up some things here. Someone just launched Jillian across the map.
No, jeez.
Flex! Flex!
Oh, sorry. I moved up one tile, but it must have.
Yeah, I saw that. It glitched on you and threw you. That's weird. Here, let me get you back to where you were. Oh. Like
Just all
I saw the mouse grab, and I saw it move the one, and then it just whoop all the way back. It's like, what the heck, Foundry?
Yeah, I'll refresh.
Oh, and I gotta take that off of Isaac's character's simulacrum because you no longer have that on there. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Make my life a little easier. Anyone checking out anything specific, or you just want me to let Dean know what he found? Alright, so Dean, since everyone else is all quiet, you found the one absolutely worthless thing for yourself. It's a spell book.
Well, you know, I was hoping for a diary or something that says we is shut, we can't get out, but I guess I'll just give it to one of the nerds. Nerds? Wait, does it look like the spell book that the God Killer dude was writing in, or is it different?
It does not appear to be like that. It seems to be its own specific thing. As you close the book, you see it's titled The Personal Grimoire of Darkness. It contains a number of spells all the way up to 9th level. I'll just go ahead and toss that in the handouts. I love that spellbook generator, by the way. It saves me a lot of time.
I'll pass it to, I guess I'll give it to Isaac because his player is here. I'll be careful you don't cut yourself on the edginess of this Lord's book.
Jeez.
I did throw a link up in D&D Beyond. If you click on that, it'll take you to a page listing all the spells.
That is a spicy spell book.
More of darkness, yeah. Oh boy, yeah, it's got some real
Glancing over it, you can tell this was definitely something leaned into by a necromancer for some of the spells that popped up.
It's a very malicious book if you read it, like the different spells it has. Well, there might be some useful things in here though.
Yeah, it's a gate on it. Foresight.
Foresight is a spell that I wouldn't mind learning actually.
That's pretty cool. It gives you like advantage on everything and stuff like that.
It basically puts you into like super mode for the next 8 hours, and it doesn't take, or it takes whoever you cast it on. and it doesn't take concentration, so.
Ooh.
Get advantage on all attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. Additionally, other creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target for the duration. But you can only have it on one person at once, even if you can somehow cast a second 9th level spell, because it says it ends immediately if you cast it again, like the previous one ends.
Yep. Just get your simulacrum to do it.
Yeah. They had that, but they thought about that. Like, they're like, well, if someone ever figures out how to cast 2 9th level spells in the same day.
Shit.
You mean like John? Because he has the Book of the Still
Yes.
Tongue, so he can pre-cast as a bonus action.
Yes.
9th level
yes.
spell, and then cast a 9th level spell.
Yep.
Exactly that. Yeah, exactly that kind of thing.
Or be
Well-
an elfie boy and just cast it, trance, get your spell slot back.
That's a downside to 5th edition D&D. Everyone's only got one spell slot above like 5th level, so.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
So now we have a
That's-
reason why John's not doing anything right now. He's copying in his spell book as he floats around with his hand and reduce person.
Probably some kind of magical messery like that. Anyone checking out anything else?
I still have a quest for knowledge. What's this scroll? There's a couple actually. There's one here and here. The one in front of Jade that I walked past the first time.
They'd be various spells from the book, but all necromancy, in fact. As you go through, you see one of them is a spell for... oh, that
You
was bad.
alright there?
Yep. One of
That's
them
not painful.
is Animate Dead. I just took a drink, so you know it goes not too good for that one. Another one is Comprehend Languages. And the third one is just straight Animate Objects. 3 spell scrolls.
Guys, I just got a call from the Chinese embassy to remind me of the document needs immediate action.
Oh, jeez, you better get on that. That sounds super real and important.
Yeah, this is I gotta go.
I got a new trick that's been working well for those. I'll answer it and I'll put my phone on mute and I'll just set it down there until they hang up. They put me on the... I never get calls again from the same number when I do that. It's like they're like, hello, oh, there's no one here. This is no good line. Drop it. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, hopefully.
It was at least a new one.
That was different. Chinese embassy. Haven't heard that yet.
It's like a monotone computer voice. It's just like, okay.
I think so the Chinese embassy thing, I think I've heard that one. I think it's like they're trying to scam immigrants. Like they're hoping they're gonna get somebody who's like an immigrant, and they're gonna try and be like, oh yeah, no, you gotta pay money, otherwise you could lose your, you know what I mean, you could lose your status. So
they're presumably they're trying to catch Chinese immigrants.
presumably, yes, I would.
Because
It would be less effective otherwise, I would assume.
because as a Scottish immigrant, I feel that their targeting skills are
Yeah.
lacking.
Not as effective, yeah. Perhaps, yes.
Unless it turns out, if I ever visit China one day, it's just like Dean Bar is a super common name.
Oh my word. Bump into one guy who looks just like you except he's Chinese and you're like, what the hell is this?
Dean? No way.
That'd be a funny day. Be like the old 90s cartoons, you know. It's my double in another country.
Oh dear. Oh well. I mean, at least we've gotten a bit of a laugh out of it.
Actually, hang on. You're Scottish, so I have to
Yeah.
take an extra step on that one. That's where you'd whip out the claymore. You'd be like, there can only be one. Oh, the original Highlander. Only the original.
Yeah.
So-
Sorry. Let's not get into that. Let's leave that there.
Could spin on a big tangent for sure. But there's other magical trinkets and goodies in this room for sure.
Yeah. I'll yeah. Well, I'll do the druidy thing. I'll look at the rugs. I'll see why these rugs are magical. I'll see if I put on the lion skin rug if I turn into a lion. Let's try that.
It's somewhat warm to the touch and very comforting to have on you like a heated blanket. And it wraps around well too, like a cloak. You almost feel like Hercules for a brief second with the lion's skin wrapped around you. Except it's dragging. Looking at it, it looks like it would fit Flux almost perfectly, so it was definitely originally a rug. I mean, she's tall, okay, so she's my go-to for that stuff. But you definitely can wear it. And it's warm and cozy, and even gives off a little bit of warmth.
Does anyone want this? Because I quite like the idea of tailoring it a bit so that I can be Alec, Lion of the North. No? Anyone?
Can I try the cow rug and see if it's the same?
There's a bear over there. I can see. You're probably like more on a bear size.
Yeah, I'll try a bear one.
I could see that one. You got Flux walking over, picking up the cowhide, looking at the lion. Well, I got this. And Dean or Alec just points over towards the bear and she's, oh, okay, maybe. You know, like shop. It almost feels like shopping at this point. But I will confirm that yes, indeed, as Flux picks up the bear hide, flips it around, it is nice warm to the touch. And draping it over your body does provide some meager amount of warmth. However, when you look over at Alec, he's got a completely different look on his face suddenly. He's just like, I got this. Sorry, had to do it once. Not really. No negative magical effects.
Guys, me and Alan have talked. I'm changing an 18th level barbarian.
But when these cloaks are wrapped around, warmth. They do provide warmth. Flux, however, she fits hers because, well, she's as big as a bear. Except, unlike a bear, she'll tear you in half a lot quicker. Because, well, monstrous power. It's the fighter in the group. I love having a lot of fun when they're that strong. Y'all are, but you know how it goes. It's like when Jade's sneaky.
Yep. Lulu's super fast. Should she have the cheetah one? I imagine it's ridiculously oversized on her.
Her head pops out from underneath it like a cat hiding underneath clothing. She just smiles. Oh, I like this one. It's very cuddly. Flips over, rolls herself up like a little burrito.
I'm guessing we're taking these guys as we've got space in the bags, right? Right. I feel it's important to all of us. Yes. Okay.
I have a second portable hole. I think we have space for everything.
Just gonna add soon-to-be lion skin cloak onto my character sheet.
Mundane magical item. Warm lion cloak. Yes. I was trying to look for a cool dragon with a bear hide, but it didn't go nearly as well as I was hoping, and I got scarred a little on the image search, so I'm sorry, Jillian, I don't have the epic one I was looking for you. But I did find was more comedic. It's not a fit for Jillian, but I'm still popping it up because, well, it's funny.
That's quite alright.
He has that super serious look, but I mean, definitely.
Funny.
Modifying these items at a later time will require a little bit more work. They are magical in nature, so you just can't take a set of snips to them. But
yep,
you're strong enough that mundane magical items like these can certainly be modified.
Sweet. Guess I'll take a look at examine the statues that are here, and then I'm just putting off investigating that mirror because I don't know, I get bad vibes from it. I guess I'll look at this statue and then this one. See if there's anything up with them, if they look like frozen people or if they're just really good.
The one at the front has lost some of its features over time, having worn out with age, being not a magical item in fact, but it depicts a man wearing robes and wizardy sort of stuff, staring up at the sky with hands held out. There was a plaque which did have a name written on it, but it is all since broken and faded away as well. The statue to the south is similar, but you can recognize it that it's more of a sylph from the woods, something designed to be pretty. Though if you're walking that close down to that one, you're getting pretty close to the mirror, aren't you?
Yeah. Guess I'd be like here. And there's a couple of books on the floor. Did they anything?
Glancing through them and giving them a flip, it's like the Gaston moment holding it upside down. This is useless, Toss. They're old stories, old picture books at the best, a little worn and torn out, but... And Kieran's going on a quick be right back, so... So, before I say what's happening with the mirror, since someone's drawn so perilously close to it, Dan, what you doing? You messing with the dolls?
Oh yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
I'm messing with the whole shelf.
Alright. Staring at it, you see tons and tons of baubles on the inside, and as Kieran's character would have pointed out, they all radiate magic separately. The glass doors are impervious to standard attack. You can tell this with a scratch over with one claw, knowing that they're magical in nature, this whole thing designed to protect whatever's inside. There's a lock, and of course you got picks, and there's two dolls sitting on top of it staring at you with emerald and sapphire eyes.
No good can come of this.
Oh no, they're probably going to attack me if I try and pick the lock, but I'm going to try and pick the lock.
I know. I think it. I'm imagining a perfect storm. Jade is getting strangled by two dolls, and Alex trying to this is going to be sucked into a mirror or something like that. And meanwhile,
right.
Flux is just there while everything goes on fire, just holding a pizza box.
Well then, Jade.
Courtney just sent a message. She's been trying to deal with some shit from work, and she actually has to go into work, so she can't come in. She's sorry for dipping out another week.
Thanks for the heads up, man. I'm gonna give her a quick response. I'll post afterwards about postponing the other thing for her, so I'll give her the heads up for that one. I figure she's going to have a lot more busy times than not. I'm sort of planning 5-player now, since I'm guessing her managerial role is going to keep her very busy on weekends. Those are the worst days for managers. Like, oof. So, Jade's gonna require from me a check, and Alec is going to hear from the mirror a rather loud thump. You'll see the curtain behind it wavering before it falls off completely. Stumbling against it, what appears to be, in the mirror's reflection, a drone of obsidian, and an angry voice barking out that you've heard a few times. Watch where you're going, you damned imbecile, or I'll annihilate you. Do you look towards the mirror to see what it sees?
I can't think of a scenario when Alec just doesn't instinctively just look over. I think I would be I would be lying through my teeth if I said he didn't look.
Alrighty. Jade, give me that roll for that check on that shelf. As your eyes dart between the creepy dolls staring straight at you in the front door and the dolls in the front door, and you hear a clicking sound as the door's latch releases beneath your claws. You have successfully unlocked it.
I open it.
Hello, Mr. Kitty. Do you want to play? We will play with your skin.
As you open it, you hear a creaking, and as you look up, the mouth on the doll to the right slowly opens as it chimes out. Naughty children will be punished if they take what isn't theirs. And the other doll opens her mouth and says, you will be reported to the director for your thievery. You are monitored. Alec sees in the mirror's reflection as he glances that you see the entirety of the floor of the obsidian citadel where evil Dusty sits in a throne. You can see a group of your negative doubles nearby as well, dragging in a rather large platform with a body covered in sheets on it. A number of the obsidian drones as well walk with supporting it, and you'd see one of them had hit the large mirror kept inside of this throne room, revealing it. The obsidian-clad monster stands up from his throne as he extends a hand out towards them.
Sorry, I'm back.
Were you successful in obtaining my new body? He says, with a chuckle. As you notice, the arm of this corpse being carried on top of a black slate through the mirror falls to the side. You know who owns those bracers wrapped so tight around those bloody knuckles. As Evil Dusty seems to have acquired whatever body remained from Dusty himself. He walks over towards, well, Alec. I'm going to use your character's double on this one with his regenerative capacity as a druidic man. The obsidian monster puts a hand on his shoulder as Nega Dusty, as we have called him a few times, looks towards him and nods. Begin the procedure. I grow weary of not having a body. With a few steps, he clears the space from himself to the mirror, coming right up to the edge of it, staring almost at all of you as he glances from side to side, up and down, shakes his head, picks the cloth back up, and puts it over the mirror once more.
Oh, you bad bastard. There's the cloth. So, right, so the cloth was knocked off in his end. And there's no cloth on this end. So it's okay.
Nope. You can hear the murmurations from behind the cloth, shifting and moving. Spells being drawn and weaved through the air, forms of darkened resurrection magic. You probably have a good idea of where he's going with this. But with the cloth up, it's hard to see what's going on back there. Lulu would speak up. Oh, it's just like that little handheld mirror you guys found earlier. I'd stay the hell away from it. She picks up her cheetah-colored blanket and moves her ass all the way over to here.
Is the mirror? I guess that the mirror is solid. There's no way this can be used as any kind of portal. It's just a seeing glass.
Very large, very solid, covered in ancient runes. 2 feet on either side. Tall enough you could walk through it, should it be considered a portal. However, you do recognize these runes, the party having discovered them previously on that handheld mirror that you presently have. This is the Mirror of Destiny, of which only one is said to exist within the world. You've now acquired a second, apparently.
Yeah, sorry, I missed a bit of stuff there.
Dean looked in the mirror. I revealed it was another Mirror of Destiny. He saw the big bad, who had gotten Dusty's old body, the one that was left behind in hell after he died when the ship went kablooey. Because let's be honest, not even that's going to obliterate that monk's body. Enough to kill him, though. And now the obsidian monster is using magics, apparently, to give himself a new body from the old one.
Well, that makes...
I can't think of any way to disrupt that, and I doubt I can, other than just loudly banging my drum by their mirror to annoy them, throw them off their spellcasting. You can't be clever, be childish.
Give me a quick insight check for Alec.
Insight, okay. Oh, really? Sadness, Chan?
You got a 14 on that? Wow, that's still quite impressive. I can't actually fail you for it because your insight's so damn high. You do pass over because it's nothing too major. Rubbing your chin. That's the thing. It's one of those you need a 10 or better. And when I saw 1, I was like, yes! And then I see 14, and it's like, right, high-level players, that's fine. Even though his body made of obsidian and his face nothing more than a black mask staring outward, as it moved its head side to side and stared around the mirror, once again you're given the impression he couldn't see you as he put the cloth back up. The last time you took a peek in one of these mirrors that you have, you got the conclusion that he couldn't see you, and it seems to be the same now. Whether or not that's actually the case, or he's a wicked liar.
Right.
Probably need a higher insight check to sell that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he's just going on Palantir protocols. Keep it covered up so that nobody can see in.
Oh man, my roommate was doing a rewatch of Lord of the Rings the last couple of days, so all that's fresh in my brain now.
Yeah. I also now really like the term Palantir protocols. So I'm going to write that down.
That's actually pretty good. I like that. It works. And, Dan, for Jade, because you've been waiting, all the baubles lie in front of you. Dozens of crystals. Some black ones, red ones, some yellow ones, some green ones, a couple blue ones, a few different various colors throughout the entire pile. All of them radiating magical energy. Various forms.
Do I recognize any of them?
No, they're crystals. You'd have to sit down and do a good investigation on them to examine them to see exactly what they would do. To go through the lot of them with the assistance of a detect magic spell would take you at least an hour. It's like you walked into an area and you expected to find one magical ring, but instead you found 20 in a pile. And you're looking through like, what we got here? Is essentially, but they're all crystals.
Well, I'm taking them with me.
I just see Jay putting an arm in and shovel the whole shelf off into a bag. Clink, 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 clink. Ah, they're mine now. Yep. I mean, he'd be more gentle than that, let's be honest. But I can imagine, like, those game shows where they're like, you got 15 minutes in the supermarket, take whatever you want. Just be running with one arm up, just scooping it in like a friggin' plow. I need
The only downside I would say to that in this country is that there's no booze in your supermarkets.
Right? That's a big one. I just grab a whole stack of NSLC gift cards off the wall, toss them in the cart, they'd be like, those don't count.
Well, you know what? Honestly, if they said, you have power long, grab whatever you can, whatever you grab, it's yours. I'd just go over to the gift card rack and just start ripping all the gift cards off.
Pick the whole rack up, toss it in your cart.
Yeah.
Or the price of the beef and chicken keeps rising. You know what I mean? You just become a beef baron, just sell it. Make a killing. Want some prime rib? Sure, I'll give you a good deal.
Normally, I'm waiting for my neighbor to come back. He works for Dexter's, so he's seasonal and stuff like that. But he's with his family right now. But his son owns a beef farm, and they slaughter their own cows. So I'm waiting to see what kind of deal he'll give me.
Oh, a good
nice
one. That's always the best way to go. So then, we're about at the point to take a break. Unless anyone had anything funky or fun planned. Or had any questions or anything.
No, Alex probably just grinding his teeth. That one, that what they're doing to Dusty's body, and two, that he has just assumed that the body would have been obliterated in the explosion, so there was nothing to find.
Admittedly, in your defense for Alex's mood on that one, it took Evil Dusty this long to dig it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Alec likes to be overly harsh on himself.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
don't know if he likes it, but he is. Oh dear. Dear, dear, dear.
Alrighty then. Well, we're gonna take a quick 15-minute break, and we'll be back at 12:15. Sound good to everybody?
Yep. Sounds good.
Alrighty. Let me pause the
All right.
music and pause up the game. And I'll put myself on mute so we all know where I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
See you in a bit.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. Got myself a great Christmas gift this year from my wife. She bought me a new Razer keyboard, the light up one.
Oh, nice. Which model?
Just the Chroma V2. It's only like an $80 keyboard, and it's sort of a mix between membrane and mechanical. It's really actually an amazing keyboard.
It's their yeah. I try to remember what that switch is called, but I know what you're talking about. The Ornata, the mechanical membrane. Is that it or?
1 second.
Or
I
not
just
a
had some
Chroma?
pop-ups pop up at the same time.
Because that's their, if I recall correctly, that's their membrane mechanical hybrid. Like switch is the Ornata.
I'm actually a bit surprised. I think they put their prices up. 1 second here.
All right, back.
Welcome back. Will their prices go down? Am I on Canadian site or the wrong site? Son of a... Yeah, I got the Razer Synosa Chroma. I'm pretty sure, but it looks like the price came down.
I haven't heard of the Synosa. Synosa membrane gaming keyboard with Razer Chroma RGB. Okay, cool. I used to have a Black Widow tournament, but it unfortunately died on me at one point.
Yeah, the price on that came down, permanent price. Yeah, I bought the V2. Very nice. Works with all their stuff, and it's a really nice keyboard for what it is. The nice part is the games that support it, it lights up the actual keys when I'm in a situation to use them, so that's handy. Or other stuff, depending.
I have a Naga, and it uses Chroma stuff as well.
Oh, yeah.
The MMO mouse, yeah. Because I play enough MMOs that having an MMO mouse is handy.
Yeah.
I've got like half a dozen buttons on this one here, by geez. I don't even know. It lights up, but I turn the lights off usually. I just wanted a nice reactive keyboard that's not too loud. I'd love to go up and get one of those mechanical switch beasts, but
yeah.
I'm willing to bet I might be our fastest typer. Some of you might have me because admittedly we're all very tech savvy, but I used to break about 175. Now I'm sitting about 115, 120, but I still sound like a machine gun, so you know.
Yeah. I can't remember how, because I haven't tested my typing in a while, but I'm a pretty fast typer too, and I use, I have blue switches, as you've heard, so it's, my keyboard's pretty loud, but it's what I like when I'm working and stuff, it's
half the reason I went for this one. It's quiet, which is really impressive. It's very, very quiet. I'm a little sad the price dropped like a rock on it, though. They were $79.99. They've dropped down to $59.49 on sale. Wicked little colorful keyboard. Runs really well.
Yeah. I like all my Razer stuff I've ever owned. My only issue is that I've also found that the Razer stuff doesn't last as long as I'd hope sometimes. But I always feel like they're very ergonomic. So I always really like using them. Which is why I still use a Razer Naga, right?
Usually, to be honest, my keyboard's usually set with just a white backlight. That's the main reason I got it. I got a backlight. Sweet. I turn on the Christmas lights and do all that funky stuff, put on for Chroma for games and all that, but I like it. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Don't mind me, Jillian. I was bragging up. I got a new keyboard for Christmas, and it lights up and it's purdy. I like the purdy keyboard. It's so colorful.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I really needed a new one. My old one was starting to die. The keyboard membrane underneath slipped to the right, so I'd push R for reload and nothing would happen, and I hammer the key and it finally works, and I get a teammate on there. It's like, whoa, bro, you're not losing. Why are you trying to kill your keyboard? I'm like, no, it's dying. I'm trying to use it. And they're like, oh. It's so nice to have responsiveness. But I digress. I'm getting a little off topic. Since we're all back now, we can pop back in it. I got myself a nice bagel here to eat too, so that's really tasty. And I got a drink of pop, and I got the ice cavern and some dark, twisty, scary music, and the pause button turned off, so you know. So kicking back off, since we're all here. What now?
Um. Unless there's anything, well, Jade was scooping the crystals.
Yep.
Well, unless there's anything special about this tower, this piece of broken tower, which I imagine is half in the ice.
The
Guess
bottom of
we,
it's quite frozen down, yeah. It's been laying there for a long time.
Guess we pick a direction. Well, I walked down this way, so I know that it's probably a fairly open area this way. This is an area. Anyone got a preference?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, not really.
Alright. Let's go right. Let's go up this way.
Alrighty then.
Haha.
Ain't gotta be funny, they just have to hurt. Feel free to drag your token along, because as you make your way to the north, the path twists and turns and is nice and windy.
There we go. Foundry's woken up. It's moving.
It's a little bit on the slow side. It twists and turns and opens up into a very small room. The remnants of the floor mostly destroyed. You can also see what appears to be the remnants of doors in a circular configuration, though long since destroyed, no longer barring path or passage to the next zone. But that might not be what's catching your attention at the moment. As you make your way towards the north, you do see a strange, pulsating light from a rock not too far from where you presently stand.
Huh. Guess some RGB up there, guys.
Found the DM's keyboard.
Yeah, talking about computer parts, you can't not say that. I feel like we gotta investigate the shiny rocks, right? I mean, it's got everything a druid loves, rocks. It's got presumably what wizards love, magic.
It's shiny, so Jade wants to go.
Yeah, and Flux can throw it at someone, so all to play for in the north.
Your owl casually trots from foot to foot on your shoulder and gives a nod. Ooh, you leave the way, boss.
You know what? Last glowing thing we approached, my dude, you blipped out of existence. So how about you do me a favour and you I'll try to come on, escape. Missed it. How about you keep watch here for us? Is he not? Move it. Come on. There you go. Just I don't want him to blip away again. So I'll leave him watching there. Oh, it's a rock room. It's all on its own.
As you set your owl down, he looks up towards you so proud. He's like, I will protect the area, boss.
I believe you, buddy. I'm currently getting a stare down from Fergus. I've had a sandwich and some crisps or chips if you're North American on a plate.
Yep.
And but it's very intense eye contact with the occasional dirty look at my way. I've not eaten all day, Fergus. This is it.
He's like, all food is my food. And it's like, no, it isn't, buddy. You're going to learn. You approach this rock and can see runes and markings on it. And, most interestingly, a small divot in the top where the runes stop and then continue. Recognizing them as well as very generic runes, built entirely for the purpose of teleportation.
Oh. Can I hazard a guess that divot is the same shape and size as the bit of the stone we found?
It appears to be at a glance, yes.
Alright. And we think it'll instantly teleport us, so should we look around the rest of the area before we put it in? Well, I assume that's what we'll do. Guys?
Yeah, I'd like to look around a bit first.
Okay.
Alrighty. So Jade's voting for looking around. Kieran, what are you thinking?
Yeah, look around. Sorry, I'm a little mentally slow so
No worries.
processing slow, but yeah, I think look around.
And Jillian, just checking in with you. You did say you weren't feeling well, so I'm assuming you're on the defensive autopilot at the moment.
Yeah, just whatever you guys are feeling is fine with me.
Teleport, rock, or explore the rest of the area? Well, Jade was leaning towards exploring. Nimbar's gonna walk up and he's gonna set down a really nice bottle as he mutters something towards Bellamy. He's like, this isn't a contest, but I'm a win. And Bellamy just laughs. Holds up a finger. He goes, I got the floaty mind thingy. You want my... You know, this thing. The manifest mind. He has explored a good chunk of the dungeon with it. As Jade's starting to go. It's literally Nimbar catching you by the edge of the cloak. I'm not going to say by the tail. That would be rude. But I was going to say it as a turn of the phrase, right? He catches you by the edge of your cloak, gives a tug. You want me to send that manifest mind?
Yeah.
So why don't you take control of it, Dan, and go for a little walk? As the mind floats on, staring and looking through these rooms, seeing the ruins up ahead, and most importantly, as it peers into the next room, spiders look towards it, skittering and fleeing on top of the webbing. Some somewhat larger ones around the edge of the eyes, looking towards you, but not approaching. Disneyland.
Oh. Must be a rare opportunity for, what's it called? Speak with animals.
Lulu's going to lean in towards Flux, and Flux has her on her shoulder, and she's going to just say, you got one of them necklace of fireballs, and that would be a wicked time. I don't like spiders. You know, Lulu just being her adorable self.
Yeah.
not especially keen on spiders myself.
Flux
Eat
will
half,
just pat.
you know.
Flux will just pat both Lulu and Alec on the head and say, "I'm not gonna let any spiders get you guys."
So do we send in the mind or to go look around, or do we want to go in?
I don't
Lulu
think
might not be an owl, but I'm sticking with the theme.
it wouldn't hurt to send in the mind and see if they react.
Like,
But,
I believe the mind is intangible, so they can't do anything to it. The only concern is if it hits like a wall that blocks telepathy or anything like that. He loses control of it, and we have to go in.
I feel like John would send it on a bit further. He usually likes to push it until it pops.
That really does sound like John, doesn't it?
As it moves towards the webbings, one of the spiders does make a jump for it, mandibles screeching through the air as taloned appendages attempt to rip at the manifest mind, though to no avail. Oh my.
So we should probably keep our guard up.
A few more spiders are showing up, some circling around, while a few other larger ones begin to approach from the rear, looking towards the manifest mind, and then looking beyond towards the hallway as they start to march.
Guys, should we look after this really quick?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pull my sword out, start swinging.
I'll go to this kind of gap and I'll tap my staff to spend a charge and speak with animals and say we don't want to fight if it can be avoided.
The spiders who were charging forward, making a barrier, it would seem, in this room now, looking back towards the manifest mind and towards the group of you, come to a stop. The one at the front chittering somewhat, moving within similar range to you, but not close enough to be considered hostile yet. All 8 of its eyes glaring towards you as it looms up with a body of incredible size and orders you to leave, with no uncertain terms, or it will send all of its kin down upon your head until none remain.
Fair enough. We don't have any intentions to stay, but can you tell us anything about this place?
They only acknowledge, in animalistic instincts, that nothing generally comes this far out, and they have clean picking of any other creatures that wander through because of that. But you're the first two-leggeds they've seen traveling through here in a very, very long time, which is the only reason they haven't attacked, out of caution, but you now tread on their home.
Can I hold an attack for if any of them jump at Alec?
It essentially would fall to an initiative roll.
Okay. I held an attack?
No, if you were going to do that, you would need to pass a stealth check. That would give you a surprise round on them to get that initial jump. Unfortunately, you can't ready an action outside of combat.
Right.
Otherwise,
right,
you'd have like 20 adventurers readying crossbows before a door opens. It'd just be deadly.
Alec will look to whoever's behind him, Flux, Jade, and it's like, do you want to push this?
You're the one talking to them, so you let me know.
I will say the flip of that, Jillian, is also true for the enemies. They wouldn't be able to sucker punch Alec if they were to attack right now. It would best they could do is engage an initiative roll. unless they have hidden enemies throughout the area that you haven't noticed. However, level 18 party and spiders. The odds of the DM pulling a jump on you like that with spiders, I'd need at least a couple nat 20s, and even then I think Jade would still see them. Or Bellamy, or Alec, or damn it. I only point that out to show that it's the two sides of it. A stealth check performed by somebody successfully at this point would give you a surprise round should it go that way. However, I will point out there's a lot of enemies staring at you all, and failing a stealth check would initiate combat. It's an aggressive act.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Whatever. I'll put my sword away.
Oh, and I'm being honest, I'm mostly saying it for Dan for the whole stealth
it's
check.
Fine.
Is before we leave, is there anything that we could trade you for? We have food. We could give you food, and if there's any treasures that you know as Two Legs like, we could exchange for them.
They don't seem to catch anything interesting. There isn't really any belongings back there. Just caves. Just their caves and their webbings. But they're not interested in trading. They're fairly self-sufficient. They just want you to go away. You've triggered an animal nest at this point. You've hit the top of a beehive. You've shook an anthill. The only difference is, one credit I'll give, when you're standing with the amount of power you've all got there, minor animals like this generally don't want to jump you.
I'll suggest to Jade or whoever has the stone that we found in the other room to show it to the spiders and have Alex ask if they've ever seen anything like that. So that's all we're really looking for.
So Jade, you gonna show them the rock, or you gonna pass it to Flux and say, no, you can do that?
No, I'll show them the rock. It's just I put a handful of chips into my mouth so I couldn't talk.
Oh no, it's all good. I was only meaning it like you saying, I'm not dealing with spiders, you got this one. Just, as a quick joke. I
have a necklace of fireballs, so I'm ready to deal with them.
Oh, jeez.
I will say, as you take Flux's information, the spiders don't seem to notice it, but then you hear a creaking and a cracking from around the corner as a very large one makes her way around, peering, all 8 eyes blinking, before leaning back. Ancient and old, she's able to confirm to the spiders who pass this off to you. That rock was indeed held here long ago, before this land became cold. She was but a small thing hiding under chairs, watching people use it to traverse themselves somewhere else.
Are there any other pieces like this that you've seen?
She shakes her head, confirming there's only the one.
Okay.
One question before we go. This place, did it ever have gardens with a maze? We found a similar colony of arachnids like yourself in an ice maze not too long ago.
There was a garden, but not a maze, just a flower bed, but it has long since been lost to the cold.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm saying that. I'm not saying this in animal speech. I'll say I'm happy to leave it as is.
Yeah.
But if you want to take them down, I don't particularly like spiders, but I would feel a little bit bad agreeing to leave and then turning around.
So, I will point at this point, Jillian, your fighter's been standing there well over a minute staring at these things, and as you know, that's about as long as it takes to use that ability to size up your opponents, right? You don't even need to specifically look at anything to stare at these spiders and know that they're weak sauce compared to the power that you can push out. Fireball wouldn't just hurt them, it would probably be detrimental to their lineage forever.
Okay. I'll mention that to Jade.
It wouldn't be a fight, it'd be a massacre.
What if we ask them, like, not threaten them necessarily, but say we wish them no harm, and would it be okay if we carefully tread these halls, not touching anything unless we ask? Just because we're looking for any information we can get.
That one is going to be a persuasion check.
It's up to the party, it was just a suggestion.
I'll
if we
ask.
want to continue exploring in that direction.
Yeah, I don't mind asking.
Can I give him the help action, or is that...
Here's the thing, since Alec is translating it into speech, but it would be very clear another team member was coming up and talking, I'll let any one person run that check. And you can definitely provide help if you have the trained and all that for persuasion, the usual stuff. But anyone can roll that check, anyone who wants to give that a shot.
Bellamy.
Hello, I'm Bellamy.
Well, Jillian, this one was your idea, so I'm betting you should roll that roll for Bellamy.
Okay. I don't have her character sheet open, so bear with me for a second.
Rawr.
Oh god, persuasion is her big +7 goddamn teen.
Get it, bear with you. So, or no, okay, I'll go home.
God.
So is she's just, it's a normal roll, right?
She has the persuasion skill as her
No.
super special. Oh,
I just meant advantage or normal.
if anyone has persuasion trained, they can provide aid, and that would give her advantage. Otherwise, it would be at a flat normal.
Doesn't she have that feature that she can't, if she rolls below a 10, it's treated as a 10. So, oh Jesus.
27 minimum, probably.
Yeah.
The 30 on the flat roll, that one there for Jillian. Rolling through Bellamy as she walks up, puts a hand on Alec's shoulder. Hi, I'm Bellamy. We want to check your treasure out. Alec tries to convey it. It causes the spiders to laugh, seeing him try to show her optimism. And yes, they are then willing to let one of you traverse the area. Bellamy. However, that glowy-headed monstrosity that floats needs to be removed first before they'll allow it.
That's fair.
All the spiders giving it an odd glance, but Bellamy's character... I'm just going to copy-paste her to make life easier on myself. Bellamy's character is more than okay to traverse this area. But only Bellamy. Lulu mutters, "Oh, too bad I wasn't still invisible. I could just tag along." Oof.
They're spiders, they probably have tremor sense, so they'd be able to detect you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you touch one of their webs, they have web sense.
I'd probably
even
get
that.
stuck. That would suck. I'd be walking and be like, "Oh no, webbing," and I get more webbing. And you know how hard it is to get webbing out of fur? It is not easy, let me tell you.
No, it's not.
I've transformed into spiders before. Some of them can just straight up have blind sense.
Oh yeah. So then, if you're gonna take Bellamy, the party okay with sending Bellamy on her own?
Yeah? I mean, I guess she can't advocate for herself.
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing.
I think that like the party's uneasy sending someone off, but it sounds like the kind of thing that Bellamy wouldn't think twice about.
I could see her dancing in like that
Yeah.
stupid meme of what's his name running into Mordor. You know, he's
Right,
just
yeah.
dancing along.
Mark,
Before Bellamy goes in, I'll just kind of look at Alec and look at the spiders. I'll be like, I don't know if he needs to translate this or not, but if if any harm comes to her while she is on your territory, we will not hesitate to destroy every last descendant of this bloodline.
The spiders are going to speak up shortly after she finishes. And they're going to say to Alec, they're not sure what she just said, but it looked quite violent. Please keep the blue lady back. They don't want to die.
Flux, I think they got your message, and I'll turn to the spiders and say, she'll only act second. She'll only respond. She won't act.
And they seem to acknowledge this, though animalistic instincts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Jillian, if you want to go ahead and take Bellamy's character and march her through.
Oh, I'm really completely horizontal right now, so I'm fine letting somebody else do that.
Alrighty.
I've got-
Kieran, you give it a run. Your turn to move a character piece around here for the checking out of this mysterious stuff.
Alright. So, looking around, is there anything standing out to me right away? or-
Mostly detritus and debris. This appears to be an outside area, originally.
Okay. Hello, spiders.
Walking through, there's twisty and windy tunnels, and the DM leans in to give a spoiler that there's only one thing of importance in here, so feel free to move a little quick if you'd like.
Okay.
You know, just to save the time. I could do some suspense building and be like creepy spiders, but I think they're more scared of Jillian than you're scared of them, so you know.
Yeah.
She's like toying with a necklace, and she's like got a big sword, and they're like, she's bigger than our biggest spider.
I guess I'm just gonna maybe look down here first.
I will say, she's
Okay.
always followed by an escort of spiders, a couple in front and a couple behind, who give her space, and every single spider stares as she makes her way through the long, windy tunnels.
Is it possible to go through this without destroying the webs here?
Very slowly and carefully.
Alright, then I'll do that. Yeah.
Bellamy makes her way through, doing her best to not destroy the webbings. The spiders seem to take some note of this, as she avoids it carefully. In areas where she couldn't help it, she stood on the strongest spots and made her way across slowly, only getting stuck once or twice, though the bottom open cavern is little more than that, as you see but another cave with spiders staring at you as you move your way through, skittering across the floors and the ceilings. A single pathway to the north winds through like a cave, turning into a tight area that she has to squeeze through at one point in order to make it, rubbing shoulder to shoulder back against the snow as she grinds to get through this spot for a brief moment, muttering something about not wanting to have eaten the extra turkey the previous day as she goes oof to make it through. We all feel for her for a brief moment. Further to the north, she travels. More spiders, more webs. What appears to be a small hatchery to the top left, and to a few smaller areas where piles of eggs have been laid. You'll notice those on the map. They kind of stand out. But what catches her eye up in the top right, I just saw Dan's cursor circle it like 3 times, like, oh my god!
Yeah,
A treasure
I
chest.
also thought that, yeah. Well,
There is indeed a treasure chest off to the end of a hallway, with very few spiders at all, though a nest to the left.
won't disturb the nest.
And the chest itself is fairly lightweight, pliable, and easily moved. Bellamy pulls a Bellamy and just lifts it straight up, and she goes, oh good, no traps.
Yeah, I would figure. So let's take that, I guess, take that chest back to where everyone else is, rather than... That way Jade can properly give it a look over and possibly pick a lock, if applicable. So... grab that chest and... I don't know if that's tile or part of the map, but grab that chest and take it back, I guess. Is this a drop here?
It just breaks and cuts in the snow.
Okay.
She has no trouble making her way back across. Big smile on her face as she comes back. Hey guys, look what I found! Because, you know, I'm not good at doing the optimistic side of Bellamy that well, but I'll give it a shot in that regard.
Thank you, giant spiders. So yeah, we have a chest. We have a chest and we have a jade. So I see. What is it? I see two. I see a problem. I see a solution. Jade wants to take a look at that.
Big, mystical, magical chest set down at your feet.
Is it unlocked with a 35?
As you reach down to unlock it, you look somewhat disappointed in yourself. The lock is already open. Not even locked shut.
Hold on.
Opening that chest up?
Yep.
As you do, opening it, you notice inside of it a number of fine cloaks. Various styles and designs.
I detect magic.
Oh, they're all magical.
Ooh. Oh, I got a box of magic cloaks. That's cool.
I'll put in the handouts what they are, but until you actually identify, they are considered to be spoilers, so I am putting them as a spoiler brackets around them. Well, you'll have to click to see what they actually are, but we can reference that later.
Are they all like? Are they all different styles, or are they all the same?
2 are the same style, while another 2 in the set are different in their design. Much like the gems, though, you're going to need to do some identifying on them.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's a bumper day for you, Jade.
I'm going to have Bellamy pull one out as she looks it over, tilts her head to the side, looks over towards Flux's bear pelt, looks at it again, looks at the bear pelt, and says, "That looks better." Oh well, puts it back in.
I'm gonna have to ask, do we recognize any of them?
Oh, like if they're student cloaks or educator cloaks.
That
No.
or if we have seen these style cloaks before.
If you've ever identified one of the ones that I put into the handouts, I'm not actually sure.
Yes, I looked at the spoilers. One of the clones is using a cloak of the arachnid.
So you know it's another one of those cloaks. One of those are in there. Then there's 3 other unidentified ones. But they do appear unworn and unused. Nothing you'd recognize from the students.
Well, then there's a cloak of the arachnids in a spider den. But I guess we move on, I suppose.
I guess so.
Unless you want to cast identify.
I might save that for some downtime because it's 11 minutes per cast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair.
be half an hour.
Oh no, I have the 20 gems still too.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Give or take, big pile.
You're gonna be
So-
identifying for a while.
You need a day off, is what you're saying. You
Yeah, I need like a couple hours to deal with all this.
All right. I guess his speech is still up, Alec will just say to the spiders they wishes them well, and we should be gone soon. We won't cross into this chamber, if that makes him feel better.
They give a nod, and the big, wise old one from the back speaks up, then wishes you caution in your future endeavors. The mages that were here were quite powerful, though this place has been quiet a long time.
Thank you. Okay. Well, feels like there's only one thing left. Companions.
Big giant spider remembering its memories of what it was like so long ago. Lucas the spider is cute. Sorry. So, what's the plan now?
I guess go the other way. Alright.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go and drop the keystone and the teleportation rune.
Alec would feel a slight nipping at the edge of his, I almost said jacket, but then I'd realize it'd be a cloak. Big fancy lion cloak. And you look over and you see your owl bringing himself up, foot over beak, as he climbs back up onto your shoulder and nods.
Okay. I think you'll be alright when we get up to the stone, but no promises for what happens once we drop the key in.
He gives a shrug of his shoulders. Says, it could be worse. I could be like the other one. You know, he's existing in a quantum state, because I'm not even sure if he brought him back when he took a long rest, but I feel like he might have, but I don't want to say that he did, so he may or may not be here at any given moment. It's confusing.
Yeah. I mean, at least you'll be able to make fun of him. For a
Oh,
little.
yeah. Gives the wings a little flap. Stops breaking the fourth wall.
Okay, who wants the honours? Who wants to drop the puzzle piece in?
I can
I'll
see
do it.
Bellamy at the back of the class with a hand up in the air, you know what I mean?
Okay, Bellamy.
But she's not here, and Dan was
Yeah.
quick to say, I will, so, you know. So, Jade has his hands on the stone, which does make a perfect fit to the area up here. Where's everyone gonna be? Clamored around it?
Usually teleportation stuff happens in a circle. Maybe we should be standing around the thing in like a... We should all be like around one edge of it or something. Should we all touch it? Like put a hand on it?
Lulu's gonna give Flux a little shove. You hear that? He called me round. He followed up with a slight snort of a laugh, mind you.
It's because your cuteness is infinite like a circle. And that's why.
Lulu looks towards you. Big grin hits her face. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I can't even think of a good comeback. Oh.
What a freaking save.
I was actually watching Worst Chef in America, and one person, she's like 24, accidentally popped butter off her spoon because it flipped through the air and it got on the host announcer. He goes, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I'm sorry, I'm just trying to butter you up a little bit." And he just looks at her, and you see him freeze as everything locks up, and he goes, it was too good, he couldn't do anything. I love it. I actually subscribe to Discovery Plus now just so I can watch all those shows.
Nice.
It's a good channel. I'm pretty impressed, but I digress. As you all get up there, Nimbar and Bellamine start holding hands, and they're like, "We make a big... Wait, we don't have to do that for this magic. So, no, that's friendship bullcrap. Nope, this is D&D. Forget that." Takes out his hobbit pipe. I'm good. I'm just badgering along, don't mind me. Don't worry about moving the minis, since we're pretty much dealing up at this point. Everyone's circling and surrounding the large stone in the middle.
Oh, just before, given that it's a new day, we'll finish the long rest. I'm just gonna pop a little gift of alacrity. Pew! Something bad's coming.
Pop that to yourself, eh?
Yeah.
Alright. Anyone doing anything before Jade drops the rock?
Can I?
Was your dex flux? You're not the fastest.
Great question. I will tell you in a second. It's... I can't see because I'm not wearing my glasses. 14.
14.
Remember, I'm proficient in dexterity saving throws.
Right, I'll spend a first level spell and I'll cast that same spell on you.
Gift of alacrity?
Yep, so you get to add
Is that
D8
the
to your dex.
Oh, okay. To any dexterity check
Oh,
or
no,
saving
sorry.
throw, or is it?
Just initiative.
Just initiative.
Oh, initiative. Oh, okay. You can do that. I do have ambush, so I can add a d12 using a superiority die.
Yeah. Don't you need to be stealthed for ambush?
I don't think so. I'll reread it. Make a dexterity or an initiative roll. You can expend one superiority die and add the die to the roll. So it's not or, it's and. Or sorry, it's not and, it's or.
It's pretty sick.
Oh, that's
that's
a
don't.
nice way to get your stealth up. Wow, that's really good, Jillian. I love that move.
Yeah, if I ever roll high, I think that's a Tasha's one. But yeah, if you want to give it to somebody else or save your spell slot, I'll be okay. What I was gonna do was I was gonna do rally for Lulu to give her temporary hit points.
Okie dokie.
Jillian, have you hit the long rest button? No, it's your
I did. It's on D&D Beyond. I took a long rest, but for some reason it hasn't come through on Foundry yet. But Foundry has been kind of temperamental with me today, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it.
I popped through a long rest on it just to get it, just because it's being cranky.
Yeah, of course it's gonna be terrible. I think she gets a +2 to that or something like that. Let me double check.
Plus your charisma mod.
Yeah, so it's +2.
Awesome. So Lulu gets 6 bonus health to bring her up to 42.
It's not much, but that's what I can do.
Lulu gives a nod and she goes, well, on the plus side, if we're going to be running and all that magic crap, I do have my magic-proof magical powers. Oh, yeah.
I'll still give Flux the gift of alacrity.
Okay.
I feel like unleashing Flux like a Beyblade is just a good idea.
I could cast that myself, but I what's it called? I have a pretty good initiative to begin with, and so I feel like saving the spell slot.
Yeah, I get to cast it once, so I've only used one.
It's gonna be interesting to see what that initiative roll is in the end.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of pluses. It'll be fun.
I think Dean was just trying to be really considerate and giving it to somebody else, so I really appreciate that, Dean. Thanks.
Dun 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 dun. I've got the Beyblade theme tune stuck in my head, so that's also.
I can see that guy hopping from foot to foot in the intro. That's all I can remember. It's been so long. Oh god.
Yeah, it's weird. It kind of came out just as I was starting to outgrow that kind of stuff. Well, not outgrow, but kind of move on to different things.
Yep.
I'd still go back and watch it, but it's like it was more of my little brother's thing. But so I kind of peripherally know it.
Wow, that's I gave it a Google and it's like none of the characters I recognize. They're all new. Should not have done
Oh.
that. It's all changed. But
But what's that? The meme that's got what you think Final Fantasy looked like 20 years ago, what it actually looked like 20 years ago, and it's like it's like Final Fantasy 10, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
no,
yeah.
oh no.
Ha 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 ha. Oh shit.
Oh, I can't. I've got the remake on. Well, not the remake, the remaster on Switch, and I'm like, I don't know how. I couldn't stand it at the time. I don't know how.
Oh, it's aged well. It really has. It's an amazing game. I didn't appreciate it enough the first time I played it. But I'm gonna redo it someday.
Oh no, the game's fine. It's that laughing scene.
Oh,
That's gonna be the tough part.
when I realized he was being sarcastic and just pushing the issue,
Yeah.
it makes a lot more sense. As a kid, it's like, that's horrible voice acting. As an adult, it's like, that's heartbreaking.
Isn't the the whole point of that is that he's like it is a really forced fake laugh, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not meant to sound good.
we screwed. Let's laugh. That's essentially the moment, so it was interesting, but yeah, I gotta replay that one. I got it on like all of them. I don't own a Switch, but I own it for Switch because it's on my shelf. You can't blame me, I'm a collector.
Yeah.
Gotta catch them all. Every Final Fantasy.
Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Okay, now it's Pokemon's in my head. We gotta go, guys, or we're just gonna be 90s anime songs all up in this business.
Do it, Jade. Do it.
Okay, I'll drop the stone in.
So, as Jade lowers the stone down, with the whole party surrounding, having buffed themselves up with some magic and abilities, as you lock it in place on the stone, a few pulses of light go out, before each of you is picked up and teleported by the magics bound within the rock. The icy walls surrounding you slowly disappear and are replaced by blackened stonework under your feet, as you find yourselves moving.
There we go.
New map will take a sec.
Ooh, I like this one. I like those like 3-dimensional staircases.
Pretty stuff is pretty.
Yeah, it's the whole map has that like kind of like 3-dimensional sort of.
Gives it a different look for this one since it's overhead, which might be what catches your glance first as you appear in the entryway to what was once such a grand hall. You can see above you much of the ceiling in the same V gap that you see is completely destroyed and gone, and you see the night sky, or as much as you can, in the 8th layer above your heads, drifting out of glance. What might be catching your attention, however, is this far wall with its symbols and signs. You can see a mummified corpse pinned against it, with a single blade driven through, a second one lying on the ground at its feet. Hard to see anything more detailed from as far back as you are, however. The ice and water beneath this area flows free, with luminous strips of magic itself entwined, the power torn out of the weave itself, it seems, bleeding in this spot. The ancient magic still giving this room some power, as it still illuminates. Behind yourselves you can also see an exceedingly large door, made of solid brick, that could probably be moved with considerable force, but...
Well then.
So that's just the void. This
mostly water and ice, but
Right.
it flows with raw, uninhibited magic. Dangerous stuff. A break in the weave, you could almost say. Probably remnants of where this world was torn away from its home and brought here.
What about these? These are just lighting, or are they like a?
Large luminous pillars giving off a soft glow of blue illuminating these chambers, though their power has waned over the years, and they're not nearly as bright as they once were.
well, I reckon we gotta go look at that body. What I can't tell from this distance, my gut says that those swords are probably familiar looking.
They seem the right length from a distance.
And it's at the top of the stairs?
Yes, where this
Okay.
large symbol on the back wall is, you can see the body pinned there. And as you start to approach the ledge here, those of you with that familiar arcana power can sense from that same corpse radiates magical power that you could activate to see memories and glimpses of the past.
Before we get any closer to it, does anyone want to... Is anyone curious about the brick door that's down the bottom here?
"10 foot wide and 10 foot tall. It would take Flux's shoulder to move it. I used to say in considerable amount of strength, but no, that's you, Jillian."
Yeah. So,
If we want to leave that for later, we can crack on with the main attraction.
Lulu looks up through the crack in the roof and looks back towards you. Well, I mean, we could always just hop out right here and go after that dragon thing you were supposed to be finding. I mean, just saying. However, that's some scary-ass magical stuff going on over there, so I don't know. So it would appear you found the exit to this dungeon and something so much more.
question is, how do we safely cross?
How far is that? A 10-foot jump?
A step for Flux. Actually, with Jillian, in all honesty, with your incredible athletics check being, what is it, a base of plus 15, yeah, it's kind of impossible for you to not make the hop across. Just on the heads up. I say that, but you never know when a firm breeze... Oh my god, I need a tornado. All that armor.
What's the rules for jumping again? It's like your strength plus something, or...
When you make a standing long jump, you can leap only half the distance, but each foot you clear on a jump. Let me just pull that back up. That's the big one. Oh shoot, I can't remember.
It's
A
If
long
you
jump
can-
or a high jump. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. You had that, Jillian?
No, you go ahead. You read it. You looks like you pulled it up.
You cover a number of feet up to your strength score. If you move at least 10 feet before the jump, otherwise it's cut in half. And Jillian having a strength score of 25, as my example, means she can go 25 feet, so she doesn't even need much extra help to get across there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She has
Okay,
Lulu
well-
on one shoulder like, whenever you're ready, you let me know. I'm hanging on. At least that's my
Well-
assumption.
I can jump across with a rope.
Probably sensible.
I
I can
get-
get to here fine. I can get to the middle, and then I should be able to jump the remaining 5 feet.
Either
But-
Nimbar walks up beside Flux's left and Flux's right. One of them takes a drag on the pipe, they pass it over to the other one who takes a drag on the pipe, and they both look up at you. You can feel free to toss us. I mean, he couldn't mage hand or do something crazy like that, but he's a small creature and it's an easy toss. And I'm being
looking at-
funny.
Look, would I be able to use my Arcana to get an insight into if this flow will interfere with my Misty Step? Just given that you said essentially it's a big pool of like
Raw
like
magic.
churning Yeah.
So long as you don't enter it. But if you get sucked inside of it for some reason, you don't know what's going to happen. It's pure uninhibited magical power from the weave itself, flowing freely. Such a rare sight would probably have Nimbar staring at it, let's be honest, but John's not here to play it out.
So do I think if I Misty stepped just over to the other side, I'd be okay, or do I think that there's a chance that it could cause a problem?
If there were tidal waves or any surging like that would come up and strike your path, maybe. But with a clean shot, you'll probably be fine.
Okay.
That's how your character would lean on this one. Unfortunately, it's not a piece of knowledge you've ever encountered before, so it's not a question that can be answered.
Here's a well, actually, we can use scientific method.
Oh,
Hey.
you go.
It's not time to use that signature spell. Just have him. It's within range, right? Yeah, 5, 10, 20. Yeah, plenty. Easily. So. I'm pretty sure the Nimbars also have Misty Step as their signature spell as well. So. Mages, man.
He makes it across to the other side with a teleport and looks back towards you with a pair of thumbs up.
Alright, I'll blink across as well, but.
And I don't have very many movement restrictions on this map, so you can feel free to move them over. I moved you over for yourself, Kieran, just because I'm lazy, but that's definitely going to pull your character across. I'm taking a peek at Bellamy just to see what she has to get across that edge quickly.
Bellamy would probably let Flux.
Bellamy's medium. That's the only kicker.
Yeah. She does have her wings, but I don't know if we should blow that resource just for the gap. I reckon, oh, I guess the danger's not falling in. Like, well, as the danger has fallen in, it's the fact that it's like raw magic. It's like if you dip your toe in it, you explode. Or something similar.
Well, I think that if Bellamy jumped the 10 feet, what is her speed, Alan? If you were just looking at, her strength. If you were just looking at it.
She got 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
She'd be peering over here like, I think I can make the jump onto this one and then across. Maybe. I think. Maybe.
Can I carry her across?
You can, but it would put your well, you automatically get a pass with your high strength. I was about to say it would put your athletics check. Well, if I cut your in half, because that's how that would work, that would put your 29 down to a 15. I think that's still not even a trouble for you. Now, you might have to
I
take
just
a
have to do
slightly
it in
shorter
2
path.
jumps instead of 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have to do 2 jumps instead of 1.
Oh, that's cutting
Yeah,
your
I'll
speed
just,
in half, no problem.
Yeah, I'll just put her on my back and that.
My second option for Bellamy, if that didn't work, was she has levitate, so we could just tie a rope around her and pull her across like a balloon.
I know one of the Nimbars is going to just mage hand himself over. The other one, he has another trick he uses. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I think it's like a basic Misty Step pull or something.
Yeah.
I don't often wave my hand and said a wizard did it, but this time I'm going to. Because he is a wizard, and he's done it before. I just don't know what his combo is.
Nimbar has Misty Step as a signature spell as well.
Okay, perfect. So he'd pop himself over and mage hand the other one.
Yeah, I think.
Couldn't
we talked. I think we have the same signature spells because.
Couldn't Bellamy jump over on this side? Like, no problem.
Yeah, roughly. I mean, the rocks are a little more unsteady in that area.
I'll just do it in 2 jumps. I know I can do it, so.
Alrighty. Well, that's the nice thing for you. You don't even need to do much of a check or anything on that because it's a hop and a hop, and that'll get the both of you over. I'll just pull Bellamy across. And
What about Lulu though? Does
She's
she
on-
count? Oh, I'll put her in my bag holding for a minute. Hold
She's
your
a
breath,
small creature.
Lulu.
her trunk inflates and she nods.
Yeah, just jump.
Then with the 2 hops across, you make it across without any trouble. Though the second you jump off of that rock, Super Mario World rules apply, and it drops into the ether below.
Du, 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 du.
I can, I'll go over here and pass a rope. Try to get either Alec or Jade to catch it.
I'm pretty
Just so
sure.
we have some contingency.
And
Pretty
I'm
sure.
sorry, just give me 1 second. I just got 3 phone calls in a row. I just have to make sure everything's okay.
No worries. Imagine you've got a way over, Dan.
I can jump 16 feet, so I can pick any of these rocks and just jump.
Okay. I can jump 10 feet, but that rock's gone, so I could go there to. Oh. I'll just go Super Saiyan. I'll just go into the form of a dragon, and I can hover and have a fly speed.
Oh, no.
Do, 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 do.
Just take people across, right?
I'm not super strong, so I don't know how that would work. For...
Oh, I might have misunderstood what you said. I thought you said you were. Shape changing. What were you doing?
A starry form as a dragon.
Oh.
The dragon constellation. It gives me a fly speed. I've also got Misty Step, but I only get 1 free cast of it. Whereas my wild shapes come back, so I'd probably just go blonde.
Sorry, I'm back. Sorry, when they get 3 rings in a row from the same number, you just assume it's an emergency, right?
Yeah, no worries.
No worries. Welcome
But
back.
I'm back. So yeah, how are you two getting across? Well, Jade probably can just do a magic jump or something. I'm sure he's got it up his sleeve. He got 10 feet. That gives him 10 foot, so you know.
16 foot.
Yeah.
Well,
I could have jumped, but my rock's gone away, so I'm just going to use the wild shape to go into the starry constellation form of dragon, which gives me hover and a 20-foot fly speed. Then I'll just just over.
All right, give me a deck save.
A deck save.
Yep.
Okay.
Oof. Alrighty. As Alec takes on his starry form and makes a jump to fly, he remembers, oh shit, and starts to fall. Hand reaches out at the last second to try to grab on. Jade, give me a deck save to see if you can catch an falling Alec.
I thought I was flying in the previous dungeon
In one area.
on the theater. Yeah.
Yep. Nah, I'm being a bit of a shit. Let's be honest. Oh jeez, he's got a 21 anyway. I said I'm being a bit of a shit here with that. Your character would basically stumble at the edge and be like, "Why couldn't I take off?" And the bird's like, "I don't know, man. That's why I climbed up your robe on your back." So flight doesn't work here either. you quickly come to realize. Jade's hand reaching out to grab your shoulder. You okay, buddy? And you're like, no, I'm good. DM's not being that big of an ass today.
Okay.
Flux will just be livid and yell, I told you to use the rope!
I still can't jump that far with the rope.
Here's a thought. Flying doesn't work. Does telekinesis work?
That's alright. I got it.
Oh, well, okay. If you just had Misty Step this whole time, I mean...
He's got to actually burn a second
He only
level
gets
for
to
that.
use it once.
Yeah.
No, the Fey touched gives me it as a free cast once, then I can use spell slots to use it. So that's my free cast gone. And I can what do you call it? You know, the Find Familiar, I can dismiss him and have him reappear to get him over.
Second you teleport over there, your familiar just falls in here on the ground beside Jade. He looks over towards Jade, takes a hop over, stares up at him, starts to climb. Hey, buddy. You take me with you?
Yeah, welcome back.
I mean, it's a lot faster than doing the familiar summon, so...
Well, I think this is not just like an action for the familiars to... You can, like, dismiss them and...
Oh, I have to check
bring
the
them back.
spell. It's been a bit for this. As an action, you can temporarily dismiss. Yeah. As an action while it's temporarily dismissed, you can cause it to reappear in any unoccupied... Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, within 30 feet of you, pop, pop.
Yep.
And I'll
Familiar
just make a
disappears.
clear path and jump.
Yeah.
Your familiar disappears, reappears beside you and lands on the ground. Goes, oh, I didn't know if that would work. Good. And Jade lands beside you at the same time. Hey, buddy.
I guess I'll switch my starry form to the archer just now. It's going to be up for 10 minutes. Alright. This corpse and the swords. There's a sword and a corpse in the stone if it's pinned to the door.
Hulu looks up from Flux's shoulder towards you and blinks. Well, I mean, if you draw it, is that gonna make you king of the liches? Oh,
I don't know what happened when Dusty drew it out.
oh yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And as always with these areas that seem to radiate magical energy, the wizards, or anybody with Arcana, I just say the wizards because you have the highest rolls, are more than welcome to roll an Arcana check to sense what sort of magic it would take to activate the powers inside of this room.
Well, that's a 37.
Just 1 second here. That's a good one for it. I'm just going to turn down the intensity so it's not too crazy. And nothing happened. My god, I must have forgot to hit OK. There we go. The energy radiating from the back corner of this room, as your Arcana picks up, would only cost a level 1 spell in order to trigger. Power hungry, draining from what power lies in this room.
Well,
Actually.
alright.
There we go.
Only requires a first level spell.
I'll cast Pass Without a Trace from my staff.
Just double check that it's you casting it, not your staff.
Yes.
I don't know. I've activated it these images before with the staff.
Because I think we looked into that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I
You cast-
just
'cause
remember.
it was- The low spells often let you cast through it and cast it as if you're casting it. I was just shocked to see a 9th level do it. It's like, so a fighter can cast a 9th level spell technically. Wow, that's impressive. That was the shock and awe moment for the DM on that one. And Jade's like, yes, I can. And I'm like, damn it. Okay, go ahead.
You can use an action to spend charges, so you cast it. I think, yeah. Yeah, because it uses my spell save DC, so that'll be me.
So, if everyone wants to place themselves where they would be in case battle were to break out, by all means, feel free to move your minis around on the map, keeping in mind that this area down here is, in fact, 5 foot lower than the area on top. Because of the steps and all that, right? I'm gonna pop Bellamy over here, so she's got line of sight up the stairs, but she's staying back that way. And wherever Flux goes, Lulu's gonna follow.
You want to be at the top of the stairs, Jillian?
Sorry, I missed it.
We've to put ourselves where we'll be in case a fight breaks out.
Okay. Yeah, go up here.
Alrighty. And Lulu is gonna hang out right beside. So Alec is going to cast a spell to trigger the level 1 trick.
Yeah.
And as you do, the ground swells and shakes, and almost seems to change, as if the two sides twisted and snapped back together as one, lighting up this area as it once was long ago. The magic that permeates this building, fueling the powers. As you see, standing high in this area, right in the front zone. Come on, clicky work. My clicky isn't clicky. I can get my clicky to click. Nope. Standing here. Because it won't work. You do see a mage in brilliant robes, hands up in the air, either covered in blood, as he's chanting a dark ritual of power and sacrifice. At the back of this area, the doors are pushed open in a blinding flash of light and teleportation. And you see marching forward, horned helm on his head and 2 swords in either hand, that same Godslayer. The one chanting at the front comes to a stop as they turn towards him. He stops, somewhat shy of the main podium, relaxing out down here as he points his sword, accusing the director of madness, treachery, and betrayal, slaying students for their power in a blind bid to increase his own, and that he's come here to show him the error of his ways by the blade. And he's not alone. A few other students you may have recognized. The elven girl and another rather powerful-looking male, very buff, seem to step up behind as well, though they don't follow him as the younger one with the blades walks forward. There's your typical banter between the two, though the one wearing the horn helm says very little. Whatever emotions he's feeling, whatever desires and dreams pushing him forward, now quantified by nothing more than a mental mask, as his enemy mocks him. He raises a hand above his head as he begins to call down exceptionally powerful magic. This as well, where anyone with Arcana is more than welcome to roll a check to try to identify what's going on, as sparks alight from his hand seem to die in mid-air, and he has a rather fearful look on his face for a moment before it's replaced by anger. Isaac, blitzing a 33. Is
I
able
feel
to
like
tell.
Nimbar would definitely.
Same with Nimbar. That 27, he can see it.
Oh, 2 seconds. Blank.
Jade at 22 can't tell what just happened. But what essentially happened here, as our two spellcasters noticed, the big bad was about to cast a very powerful high-level 9th level spell. You're not even sure which one it was. But the young Godslayer did. He cast the exact same spell at the exact same instant with the opposite incantations to mirror the same spell. The effect was that he countered the spell without using counterspell. And it's around that time he started to walk forward, drawing out both of his blades. And this process repeated itself 2 more times with 2 more incredibly complicated spells, countered by word of magic. Though, once the 2 of them began to duel, these counter spells you saw considerably less. Spells echoing off the walls, stretching out as hands reached each other, fire, magic, and brimstone exploding through the air, and one fact painfully clear through all of it, that the director did not stand a chance in this fight. But during this fight, you two who have passed that first initial Arcana skill check, I'll give one for Bellamy too. I'm gonna roll her up. She's got Arcana. You never know.
I was going to ask about Bellamy because she's got the jack of all trades thing.
That half-seas brought her up to a 19, but she doesn't know what's going on either. Wizards who have passed your Arcana check, go ahead and give me another, as you see a magic techniques being used well beyond comprehension for most. But not you, 17th level spellcasters. 18th level, actually. But you know, 17 gives you access to 5th. Ooh, look at Isaac scorching a 19 when he desperately needed one. Who wants to roll for our other friend Nimbar?
I've got his page up. But anyone's welcome.
Well, Dean, you go ahead, give it a roll. You've got it open.
Oh. 2
Ouch.
fat ladies. 88.
Isaac makes an epiphany as he watches this fight. Spells cast without words, without symbols, without sigils, without usage of raw material. You've never seen such power. You can see both of them drawing on aspects of the weave like you would have never imagined. And unfortunately, it kind of makes sense that Nimbar didn't get this one in the end. I feel bad. If John was here, he would have got that role. You know how it is, right?
Yep.
But where his character is seeing the old magic being used again, it's giving him a headache. But Isaac, who had never seen these old magics in truth, you're able to discern something amazing. And you can see a technique that they're using, and you can see a way to adapt it, to use it with the present magics that you presently hold. You've obtained special power. You'll be able to use it after you get your next long rest. The Eyes of Mystra. Oop, I said that through Bellamy. My bad.
No, let me just say, I was like, what? Turns what?
When you take a long rest, you can pick any spell that you know in your spellbook of 4th level or lower. And you may cast that spell at will.
Oh boy.
You can change that spell at any long rest, should you wish. But you need to take a long rest to pop a spell into that mental slot. This is above and beyond your character slots. Again, at will. This means you don't need slots. You don't need anything extra to cast it. But it's also the magic that these two seem to wield fairly freely, as a majority of low-level spells are being tossed out from these two at will, but never do you ever hear a word of magic uttered from the Godslayer, just the effects. So congrats, Kieran. You can teach that technique to any spell user who is at 17th level or higher. However, it requires a significant investment in time if you did not make the epiphany on your own at this moment. So it'd take you some time to train that to anybody else.
But I will happily teach the others when we've got time.
Any one spell of 4th level or lower you may choose as your at-will specialty spell. As the eyes of Mystra gaze upon you, the mother of all magic, a greater deity. As this fight begins to draw to a close, however, the magical power that gave the director whatever they were using finally runs dry against the somewhat inexhaustible strength of this monstrous wall before him. This maybe 18-year-old warrior, both blades held forward by sword and by magic. He made it very clear that there was no challenge. And as the director sits on one knee, he begins to plead for his life like all truly chaotic, crazy evil does.
Classic villain.
The young Godslayer rises his swords up, ready to strike down one final blow. When the elven who had been traveling with him puts a hand on his shoulder, causing him to pause, she brings up questions of what is right and what is justice, and if it's okay to slay the man. He causes enough of a momentary pause that he steps backwards, pondering the moment, and the director seems somewhat excited by this change. Before he turns back to face, narrowing his eyes as he says, "Justice. What we need is justice." As the ground begins to rumble beneath his feet and he starts to actually speak incantations for the first time, and Nimbar looks quite terrified as he recognizes a powerful 10th level spell being dropped. The ground beneath your feet rumbles as well, as lights flash, drawing broad beams of energy across the ground, tearing the area. He mentions things about the north winds, about the cold of the world in the void, of tearing apart, brings his hands together, glares at the director and says, "You will never see the light of day again. I banish you to the 8th lair of hell, where all traitors belong." He brings down his mighty fist into the ground. As he breaches the world, a bright flash tears apart. And in those final moments, the director attempts one last attack, charging forward. But it's not by his hand that he dies. The elf quickly draws up one of the blades, plunging it home into the chest of the director, pinning him to the wall. He screams out in agony, refusal of what he was seeing, as the world twists before him, as he and his school are banished, torn from this world and sent to the 8th lair of hell. The Godslayer and his friends, however, do not follow in that trip. His body falls slump against the wall behind him, as the magics in this room seem to somewhat fade as the vision begins to come to its end. In those moments, however, the light receding from this area begins to waver as the hand of the corpse itself twitches, head beginning to lift up, magical energy drawing back, as I'm sure all of you would imagined would certainly have happened in a boss chamber. As an undead face rises up, the vision itself breaking, cracking under the strain. And I'm just going to show you some character artwork.
Oh, jeez.
as the undead monstrosity on the wall slides itself forward on the blade, tearing it through its form. Eyes looking up with a crazed look, as I'm sure Flux raises up her sword in defense, and as Jade gets his daggers out, and as Alec pulls up a quarterstaff, as it looks up towards and just screams, "Revenge!" And you all get to roll for initiative.
Oh, buddy. Alright.
So here's the thing. We've got about 15 minutes left. That would be enough time to jump in and start a fight and do some ass-kickery. Certainly. But we are short a couple players right now, so what do y'all want to do?
I'd be fine with waiting until next session just because, like, as you mentioned, like, 2 of us aren't here and we have 15 minutes anyways.
And I really want to unleash the beast of seeing those high rolls on Flux. But, like Jillian, you said you weren't feeling the best today, so if you wanted to hold out till next week to do some ass-kickery...
Yeah, I can't. I can't tonight. I can't today.
And that's completely okay. This one, you've got the rest of the story now. You now know how this place was sent to hell. Done single-handedly by one wizard casting a 10th level spell. You've got a scary-ass boss fight for next week. I'm gonna go ahead, though, and turn the music a little bit down so it's not so loud and crazy on that one. And Kieran! Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give everyone a point of inspiration. There were a few good funny moments throughout this game and last game that match up quite well. But especially for yourself, congratulations. You've obtained basically the equivalent of a legendary boon for your character with that upgrade. So just try to keep it
cool
up.
effect.
Very
Yes,
powerful.
I wrote it in my notes on my character sheet, so that in the same place I wrote the spell blanking thing that I know how to do. The like the thing was it's 24 hours must include copyright. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Well, now you know who wrote that spell. And you can see why he said he wants a copyright. Oh, wait, no, that was the King of Blackrock. My bad. 2 different wizards, the group. But wait a second. Dot, dot, dot. Maybe I said too much. So, without further ado then, unless anyone's got anything for today's session, I think I'll call it here, and we can pick
And
this
how
one
do you
up
spell alacrity?
ALACRITY.
I know you clear the chat box afterwards, but I'm just gonna add that just in case we forget what the symbols were. I'm not saying that Dean would forget, but I would probably, so.
Oh, I would forget too. Don't even worry about that. I put 2 on yours, so I remember that you've also got that nice other ability you can use with your...
yeah, I assume I'd have to say it before my roll, so I might just save it if I have alacrity on, but... yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and log off. Thanks, guys. Sorry for the low energy.
Oh, no worries at all, Jillian. You rest up and feel better.
Thanks.
So can I just clarify something?
Feel better.
With this corpse that we're facing. This is the corpse of the director?
Yep.
Okay.
Rubarian
right, cool.
Gruffius. But, I mean, you guys don't know that.
Yeah. Right, okay, I thought just there's a lot of wizards flying about the place. So I was like, I should double check I've got the right wizard in mind here.
The big bad boss fight, though. I'm just going to save position on the map, so you've got that one set. And what I will do for this one, I'll toss up all the old recordings and the fresh one for today's onto YouTube for anyone to take a review. I just didn't bother thus far because it was a dungeon.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Alrighty then, everyone. Well, if there's no questions, I'm going to log off.
Yeah,
yeah?
No, none from me. I asked my question. I'm good for now.
Awesome.
Thank you for the game. It was fun.
Yep.
Always a great
Thanks,
time. And just as a reminder, again, next week will be virtual as we continue. Though, I'll be honest, I imagine next week you'll finish this. So let me give one small little fun tidbit piece of information out there. After next week's game, you will know the name of the final boss.
a little bit concerned that it's not just Negadusty.
Right?
I,
It's like, wait a second.
so, to quote as how the French say, what the shit, Alan. Negadusty's a bad guy. Now you're telling me that he's not the bad guy, or not the bad guy. What's happening?
You're all like, we want to play level 20 campaign, and I'm like, okay, I'll plant the seeds.
It's the classic Final Fantasy thing of like in the near the end, suddenly there's like another even badder guy above the bad guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at Final Fantasy. Look at how many Final Fantasy games have the like even badder guy.
Actually, Final Fantasy 9, perfect example. You get there, and it's like, who the hell is this?
9, 8 had it. 9 and 8 both had it. Which else? 4 had it. Like it's you know like it's not an uncommon trope in that series to just be like, and suddenly extra guy. Now kind of have the disadvantage that they like kind of cut some content from the end, so he kind of just shows up out of nowhere like, oh, so I'm here.
Yep.
Like, it's like hi, guess we're fighting.
Right, I gotta pause the clock on that. Make sure that stops spinning. Because it only took you 2.5 hours to get there after your rest. You're like, all right, boss, we're whooping your ass. Next week, big fight against a wizard. So you know, plan accordingly. Take your time. It's gonna be a rough one. I'm not gonna lie. On the plus side, I don't have any of his stats really in the Foundry. I'll be doing those off sheet because that's how I do some of these crazy bosses because of their builds. But I didn't say that out loud.
Okay, I just hope Flux can get in there first. Maybe if she cuts off one of them spellcasting hands, problem solved.
Boss looks up. I wish she was on my side. The team's like, oh no.
Somebody, for the love of all that's holy, counterspell. Counterspell.
He counterspells your counterspell. Oh shit!
Somebody
Counterspell, counterspell, counterspell.
Silence.
Oh my word, that would go so many times. Alrighty, everyone. Well, you have yourselves a great week, and I'll see you all next week.
See you next
All
week.
right.
See you next week.
See ya.
It was fun.
Always a good time, guys. Later.
Later,
Bye.
guys.